Good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you are in the world or when you're even watching this video back on the YouTube channels. I'm Emma. I'm joined by the legendary Josh Hankin.
Hello.
We're streaming round 3 of the Ironweld GT here. We have the mission Position Over Power. So there are 2 flank objectives on the left and right. Um, and at the start of round 4, they'll be removed from the table. And you score an extra point if you control either of them with a Galician champion. We have Eric Smith playing Soulblight Gravelords Virkos versus Anthony Trentinelli. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this guy. I've played the game before.
No, it's a new name to me. Never heard of a Trentinelli before.
So he's back to the army he loves, Slaves to Darkness. One of his favorite armies. So Eric Smith running a Virkos list, a bit different than most people have been running Virkos because I don't see no zombies.
Oh, none. Interesting.
We've got 2 Necromancers, one with Waste Away, one with Fading Vigor.
Ooh,
2
interesting.
Vampire Lords, one with Soul Pike, the other one with Spirit Gale. Pretty standard. Those are probably the 2 best spells on the Vampire Lords there. The Soul Pike one has Tunnel Master, so we can teleport. The other one has the Artifact Terminus Clock, so at the start of Anthony's turn on his 3-up, he'll be -1 or 2 to casting rolls. Then his general is a Right King with the Ulfin Carnian Phylactery, which adds 1 to Deathless minion saves, so his ward saves for his summonable units are wholly within 9.
So a 5-up roll then.
5-up ward.
Pretty good ward, especially with the quantity of wounds he's bringing to the game.
He's got 30 skeletons in 1 unit, 10 dire wolves, 2 units of 20 Graveguard, both with right blades and crypt shields, so none of the great right weapons. He's going for more of a tanky approach, which Graveguard and the skeletons, their banners allow them to reroll their 1s on their ward rolls. So if they're wholly within 9 of that Right King, they'll be on a 5-up ward, rerolling 1s. And they'll be on 4-up saves for the Graveguards with those shields.
Okay, well, I mean, that's going to be... Fortunately, I think Anthony probably has the output.
I think so when we get to that list.
At the same time, there's a lot of rolls.
But wait.
Rolls with rerolls.
There's more.
There's more. Oh my gosh.
Because that's only about 1,500 points. There is a Kronspine of Grrrr. And it is bound to the Necromancer of Waste Away, which is probably the best spell in that entire book.
And I was going to have +1 to cast because of the Kronspine.
Yeah.
Well, that could be pretty dangerous.
Anthony, on the other side, is running Kabbalist. That is a sub-faction that makes all of your guys wizards.
Yep.
If you use the heroic action to 3d6 cast, all the heroes that are within 3 get that 3d6 cast too. But he's only got 2 heroes. Those are 2 Chaos Sorcerer Lords, both undivided. His general there is Master of Magic for rerolls. And he does have the Soul Screen Bridge, so what Anthony's really looking to do here is basically use one of these Chaos Sorcerer Lords to 3d6 one of his mounted units to give it a 3d6 charge, and then Soul Screen Bridge to be able to teleport them, take a 3d6 charge. Get right up in your face.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, that'll certainly happen. Oh, it seems like the audio might be a little quiet.
Audio is quiet. We might be talking a little quiet too.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're kind of close to the table, so we're a little careful with how much we're saying. But let me see if I can get the volume here. The room quieted down a bit too, so we can certainly crank up this mic a little. Is that any better for those out there in the world?
So you're only normal -1 now. So marker lights.
Testing here. 1, 2, 1, 2.
We'll see. We'll see if this helps. Hopefully it does. I think we can.
Again, we'll just
yeah, if not, we can actually. I think this.
There and tell them what we think.
There's a couple that are.
Legendary Luke Morton from England.
Ah, okay. I am not familiar with this gentleman.
He is. I'll throw out this allegation. He's pretty good at Warhammer.
Is he? Okay. And he's watching us. Cheers to you. All right, bit better. That's good.
I might be getting an echo from your mic. You can hear me, but so Anthony's list. He's got the 2 Chaos Sorcerer Lords, the bridge. What else has he got? 10 Nurgle Chaos Knights. And they have the eroding icon, so it'll be -1 to be wounded in combat, and they'll also reduce the rend by 1 of anything that attacks them. He's also got a unit of Untamed Beast. He'll have a pre-game move, 6 inches, and Cordis Cabal, which he'll be able to start off the table and just drop in anywhere on the table 9 inches away.
Well, that's interesting. So not only does he have the bridge to get around, but he's got the Corpus Cabal, which will be a problem getting up, I assume, into... Well, in this scenario, I guess you're kind of probably working on the...
Don't really do anything.
Well, fair, but they do threaten objectives, right? Yeah. So, like, that's the big thing, is that they allow to kind of reach out in different locations.
Those flank objectives will just drop a unit on and say, cool.
Like, one of the challenges for the Soulblight here is that they typically like to be very close to their other units because their centerpieces are pylons. So when we're looking at this, we're going to end up having some pretty spaced out objectives unless it's just the middle. So it'll be interesting to see how the players handle having just a center board presence or whether they actually really run to those flanks and grab those side objectives.
So those studious folks at home who are tallying points, I've only listed less than 1,000 points in Anthony's list, so what the heck is he filling that with?
Flamers.
That's right. 10 Chaos Chosen, all marked with corn for the extra attack. Also has 6 Vanguard, also corn for the extra attack. And the Cell Spears, so they hit hard on the charge. Vanguard has a built-in rule where once a battle, they can fight twice, the second one at the end of the combat phase. This is an all gas, no brakes kind of list.
This is interesting because outside of Graveguard always have a little output themselves, but this is an awful lot of hitting against a fairly defensive list.
The Chaos Knights are pretty tanky. They can probably tank the Graveguard.
That's true. They can.
And I don't know if this Kron's Mine is going to do much because I don't think it can lift any of these units in one go.
It's going to be a challenge, and the Kron Spine's always it's funny, this is the second Kron Spine we found on stream today, and it's always a bit of it's a little bit of a dicey play, because if you put him into something that can do enough damage, then you could just lose levels off your Kron Spine, but if you can put it into something that can't do a lot of damage and just do, 7, 8 wounds to it, then it usually survives.
I'm going to try actually to cacophonic choir you, which will require a 7.
So I am going to flip these names because the players did change the side that they're playing on. So for all of our sakes,
Yep, that's not doing nothing.
make that edit there for you guys.
Then I'm going to delightful agonies. I need a 6.
So Anthony, sit down.
This is
6 Vanguard. Top. Deployment zones are very small on this. You're only about 13 inches up from the edge, and then you only have a 30-inch wide bubble, because you're 15 inches from each of the table edges on the sides.
Lord of Change.
Which one is the crossbine attached to?
The crossbine is attached
You will
to
see if he
this
is
necromancer with
before
Waste
power.
Away. More normal ski zone.
My first power.
The players are currently talking through pretty much what we just went through as they set up the table and get their deployment going.
Is he 12?
The new Soulblight book is still relatively new, so not everybody has a lot of experience playing against it yet. So it might even be Emily's first time really experiencing this.
Yeah, I've never played it, and this is the first time I'm actually seeing it on the table, so this will be interesting. And it's nice to see that it's not the horde of zombies that everyone's been sort of complaining about that are overpowered.
I still have no idea what you're talking about. I would never
Yes,
think
how would you
zombies-
possibly know?
I'm going to Infernal Gateway.
I don't think anybody really needs to play zombies anymore. I did the math.
Yeah,
I-
it checks
I
out.
did the science.
Yeah. You had a hypothesis,
Nobody else has to
you
anymore.
tested it, and now you found that it is true. It is good.
Yeah, so everybody can stop playing it now.
Yeah, no, that's true. There's no more questions, and we need this. The whole point of this game is randomness, right? Like there should be some ebb and flow, and when there isn't randomness, you just remove it from the game. It's fine.
My first hit. Take 3 mortals.
6.
That one with the missiles on it. Big giant missiles.
Which one's the original?
Take 3 mortals. The transport.
So in our drain pack there are 2 impassable and 2 parasol terrain. So players are now agreeing as to which ones will be impassable.
The thing with the big giant rail.
Which ones will be ours?
Take 1 more.
2 covers.
Oh, how about that white thing? Yeah, that's outside. Oh, is there a dude in there?
Yep.
The little dude, the shaper guy. Take 3 more loops.
1.
And then this vehicle here. Take 3 more loops.
So this will also be our final round of today. This is game 3. We will have 2 more rounds tomorrow.
Yep, I think kicking off at 9 o'clock. I think that's when we're supposed to.
I just do what I'm told.
Well, that's it. I just show up. I sit here. Unfortunately, even when the stream's off, I simply talk into the mic. It's the only way I know how to interact with people.
Anybody wants to join us? We do have Ironweld GT at the end of the year in December.
Yep, up in that's basically about the same distance outside of Boston as this is. Usually a little bit of a bigger event, although we do have 200 players across various systems here for this event. Everything from board games to 40K to MCP.
And I need 5 or 6.
There's Legion, Blood Bowl. Yep, there's a Blood Bowl room. I think that's it. There's a yep. There's a hall. Yep. There's a hall of vendors. There's a board game with a bunch of games that are just available for those to kind of pick up and play, and that'll be open pretty much all evening. I'm sure people will be playing various more social games later this evening.
And if you're interested in being a vendor or sponsor, please feel free to reach out to hello@dicey.com.
.com.
Love to hear from you. And someone will get back to you.
Or if you're out there, just email that email address. They love to chat with random people.
You can also find Wicked Dicey on Twitter as well.
Yes. Yep.
WickedDicey.com.
No, but you can't draw.
I think it's just WickedDicey.com.
I think so. I think so. Yep.
And you can find links to our events.
Yep, and typically there's not only the 2 main events which we have, which are the Everwinter and Ironweld as far as like larger GTs, but there's also a number of smaller events that the folks at Wicked Dicey host throughout the year, more boutique style and doubles events and things like that.
Look like Anthony is probably fully deployed here. He is just a 1 drop in the battle regiment. So his opponent carefully looking over and determining how he wants to approach this. He has
Yeah.
a screen off and potential officer command has such great reach with Soul Screen Bridge 360
Yep.
charge. But if you start, he also has to make something happen turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, you need your 5 points, right? If you can get them, 6 in this mission, given those side objectives. I believe the white dots that are down are the grave sites.
Yep, those are the grave sites. We had the head nod of agreement there.
Which also means the table can hear us, so we need to be even quieter. Yes, and Anthony in the very good Tough Grub merch. He's got the fanny pack and jersey. Jacob sent me one of those, and I love it when I play my squigs. It's so good. I like the second pocket that's inside.
Amazing for
Yep, it's so good.
at home. You have these sweet dice.
Yep, squig fanny pack, which of course he's not playing squigs, but it's still fantastic.
Describing his choice of artifacts here taking terminal stock does not feel like he needs the extra command points. I like to go for a second artifact in the tournament spot to potentially give his opponent minus one casting.
Which could be effective here, given, I mean, I know that Anthony has the command ability to do 3d6 casting, but at the same time, -1 is pretty material when you're dependent on 6, 7, and 8s. What is bridge cast on? I don't remember. Is it a 6?
Like a 6.
Yeah, I think it's a 6.
And he has had quite a bit of experience with Soul Screen Bridge, primarily from a bunch of Storm Fiends.
Oh, that's right, yes.
An absolute fiend himself.
So I make 4, so he's down to 9.
Now, the tactical sit down by our Slaves of Darkness player as Soulblight has to use their deployment phase. You may likely see more tactical sit downs during each of these Soulblight movement phases. Very highly recommended.
I will marker light
I believe it was last round there was 2 Soulblight players. We were talking about it before that had about 200 zombies on the table, and after we ended the stream, I walked by and there were still probably close to 200 zombies on the table after an hour and a half of playing, 2 hours of playing.
I think we had 3 Soulblighters last round. So serves you right if you want to play Soulblight.
Well, that's it.
I think 2 of them
And
went all the way to time.
invest in movement trays.
I don't actually do movement trays.
No?
No.
So you move each one. I mean, it is, right? But at the same time, having been a long-time Gits player, that even before the current herds and the way they work, having movement trays for playing 120 goblins has saved many hours of my back.
I do have a bucket strat where I have my zombies pre-counted for deployment. And
Yep.
I just dump out the bucket. And as they die, they go
Into the bucket.
they're
Yep.
all labeled.
That's a good way to do it.
reroll. What did you get? Real rebels.
I have 1, 2, 3 points of reality.
Soulblight is really pulling Anthony, working out the numbers, figuring out you want to go first or give it away.
Yeah, both players doing a little pregame measure. See, Eric is measuring where Anthony's wizards are for dispels, and Macron Spine in its threat range.
They are a unit.
Alright, so
Alright, so I'm gonna move them. Just because I have 1, so it's unfailable.
I did watch a game between
I have to see what their
Anthony rolling for his chosen.
Like there are blocks, there's skeleton on the terrain, and it's constant with 10 fire rolls in front of that, and then behind it is a vampire lord.
And everything else is in the grave sites.
It looks like the 2 units of Tony's graveyard are in grave, and the Rachel might be there too, because we can actually put him in the grave.
Oh, interesting.
He's summonable.
Oh, you're right. Yep.
He dies, he can bring him back.
It's always nice to get GCs on the table later in the game. A few of the game systems are wrapped up here, so there's a little less background noise in the room. 40K is still playing, but the MCP tables that were streaming earlier have looks like they've wrapped up for the day.
After 2 rounds, they had Chaos Knights. 40 pages, they would have Chaos Demons.
Versus a lot of Tau. It is a lot of Tau tanks.
Oh, yeah. I don't see anything but Tau tanks.
There's a little unit in the corner here.
Drones.
Are those there's little guys over there. I forget what they call it. In the regular suits. Yes.
Chaos Knights will also have less units.
He's doing great. So I have to stay outside of heroic here. So I'll move 12.
Okay, Anthony has chosen to take first turn. I have a feeling this is going to be a faster game than. There's a lot and stuff can come back, but if he actually pops off, especially if he's confident enough in taking first turn, that he might have a plan to scoop up an awful lot in short order.
I have no idea. Throwing them in there. He flies.
Surprise, there was these cats coming out of sorcerers. I might think these still have the pregame move, so
Mm.
How far does he move?
I'm interested to see if the command points become an issue here, because since general level 2, we don't get the command points.
Oh, right.
Right?
That's true. Yeah, you're right. He's not on the table.
So instead of 2 to start, and then if he wants to reaction, it's on a 4 instead of a 2.
Yep. Yep. He's not dead, but he's not on the table.
I totally feel those town fire wars really. I think this is bullshit. They're your typical E4 specialist.
My little marker like
So
tokens
that'll
are
have to
right.
roll. I think that's the table.
Space communists. So it's like the meat.
No, I don't know a whole lot about Slaves to Dark. So they have a battle tactic that is get a roll in the Eye of the Gods table.
Yep. It's that simple. So if they take control of objective,
Yep. Or kill a hero monster.
then at the end of that turn, they can take it out of the eye of the gods table.
Interesting.
They're in for a really
Only units that are marked with the eye of the gods are undivided, I think, gets to roll.
Okay.
And both of the skill sources are undivided.
Yep.
That's the one that's there. So you can just
Teleport over and grab one of those side objectives. Yeah. I mean, that's an easy. It's basically an auto, right?
So he's
No
top
enemy
right.
cyclers in your army. No, nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Just make it.
So I'm just
Same dark as this one on, I'm not sure what this is from.
Yeah, neither am I.
Because there is a heroic action in the book to do this, but it can only be done during a Soulblight turn.
Shaper, I guess, will just run away.
What was your tactic?
But he will
Vehicles sub action has 2 unique heroic actions. One is that once per battle, you can bring 10 dice.
That's if you're sure about that. That's probably something to notice to let them know now, because that is a specific. Yeah. Yeah.
It's Alright, we are back. Some little clarification on here.
I don't get it.
No.
No,
Heroic
yeah,
actions
he's not
that
dead.
are limited to zero codes are limited to your turn.
Yep.
The other one is you can pick a Vehicos, summon a Deadwalker unit, which is only fire rules in his list, and you'll get that D30 model set unit and bring it above its starting size.
Oh wow, that's actually that's really good.
You can do a
We get a nod from the table. That is really good.
do a lot of sneaky stuff
yeah.
with that. Like
Yep.
Getting extra movement for a
On
charge.
objectives, charges, zoning guys out, screening stuff. There's a ton of stuff for it. Yeah, normally we try not to interact with the table and let them kind of run their thing, but this is a new book, so it's just important that, you know, when things like that come up, if we know the way it's supposed to be, you just let everybody know. No hard feelings. It happens.
Okay,
I need to see if I stop the terminus clock, which I don't.
Tim, I don't think I want to do models all fall apart. Oh no, I'll use my for name. Roll a third.
How come you're not blue to third?
Roll on
Transport.
Say again.
For you not blue on, so they
The
transport
flying
matter?
base? Yeah.
No, the
go
little
off.
top cannon part.
Oh no, they're all interchangeable. I can like
Oh,
I
that's
can
what it is.
pull
Yeah,
the
that's
hatch
it.
out.
Reroll one of these? That
See
makes
if I
sense.
can like put the turret there, and then this detaches, and I can put the sensor there. So all my tanks are interchangeable.
So theoretically,
Yeah,
they
they
can
had
transport so they can.
Yo.
Cast
Uh,
the mechanical class table.
we did great. There.
On his magic master
Alrighty.
sorcerer lord, he gets to
Okay.
die because it's on the die.
Ah.
That's the result, which lets him cast an extra spell.
Oh. Well then, that is a.
So I think it's 3 cast, 3 roll, 36 cast wizard.
Well,
And it's
that's
also that tactic.
that seems good.
Then what
Yeah,
we
turns
will
out.
do.
Secretly might be one of the best casting actions.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not even secretly.
My rock coven is crying on the shelf. right
Yes.
now.
No, I understand. But you get +3 to cast one time.
For the whole one spell.
I know. All for 360 points.
All right. Let's see what happens.
And then the
So
other
I
critical
will
blade
mark
cast
my-
sorcerers also have another ability that gets
I
thrown out
will,
to 6 of the word save.
spend-
Yeah. Ocular visions. It's been around forever. It used to be it's been in so many iterations, and they change it every time. Like it used to be reroll ones, and it was +1 to hit and attack. +1 to it's just this innate ability they have, and it's fantastic.
You used to stack in the last book. You used to be able to stack +1 save.
Yep.
So you used to just have it very similar
Here's my
to
two up. Yep.
How do I want to do this? Well, I guess.
Still getting some feedback
Three,
with
three,
audio from the second commentator. So
and
I'm gonna try it.
you can see that. So 3, 3, 2.
Is it picking up?
How,
How do?
So Big Bird.
do we just share a mic?
We could.
3.
We'll try using one mic, and that might help. We're using a mic on the table and then a headset.
Okay, that is it for my hero phase. We'll go.
Let us know if that's better. I know there's a little.
4.
Is it picking up both of us? Well,
And then 2 into the.
it was good last round.
It's interesting. We haven't really changed anything, but
Sky Ray.
hopefully this works.
2 into.
I think we turned up the.
Oh, we turned up the gain a little bit, so it might be picking up your voice in here when you're on the other headset, as well as picking up your voice in your mic.
Next, we'll do 1. I'll do 2 into Big Bird.
Alright, so Anthony did cast the Soul Screen Bridge.
And then the
That
last
big
Sky Ray will do
purple
1 into
blob.
the Keeper and 1 more into the.
Of bones.
And it looks like a bunch of knights are coming up the table.
Okay. All right. I guess let's do things. They can move after.
Yeah, so these
And now the
Myrtle
choke.
Cast Knights, if they get into the Crown Spine, it is perfect for Anthony.
Push them through. That's fine there for them. They can't move after. Oh, they have a drone. Away for everybody.
Anthony, always,
Okay.
always a great player. Measuring, making sure he's at 10. You know, he has to be 9 away from the
Yep.
dogs. Measuring that out. Let his opponent know. Yep, I know I'm supposed to be 9.
Yep. It's one of those things that you just kind of, you know it has to be 9, and you can measure it and make it as close as possible, but if he rolls an 8 on the dice, he knows he doesn't make it.
I'll just space you out. A little bit.
Yeah, that was the duplicate mic, it sounds like, that was making the problem.
So here we go.
Yeah, let's play that one, picking up the other.
Yep, yep.
I think we can make one mic work.
Normally minus
Well,
1.
mic seems to work.
Everything there is -1 to big hits for the big demons and -1 here that's on the table right now.
All right. So, what do you think, Trevi? Shoot, it worked out last time. Go for Big Bird.
Yeah.
What
could go wrong?
I mean, let me. I guess let's kill the keeper.
Maybe you don't kill any of them.
So we got the one Chaos Sorcerer Lord, do Tunnel Mastering onto the flank objective on your left. This will basically give Anthony a 6-point turn of hold 1, hold 2, hold more. Battle tactics,
Let's
and then an
start
extra point because he's
with-
holding the flank with a deletion champion.
Long strike.
Yep.
Everything into the keeper.
And he already got his battle tactic because he cast the spell to roll the eye gods.
So main gun.
He still has the Corvus Cabal in reserve, so interested to see where it comes.
Is there a limitation on when they can come down?
I don't know when those bird people think they can drop.
The half strength unit, those can be anywhere outside of 3. Coming in wholly within 12 of either a hero.
I am +1 to wound.
I am minus 1 to wound.
I'm
I'm 2/7.
double sure that one's
So I take 3.
but
Maybe.
they can be outside of anywhere outside of
I
Hey! There we go.
Good thing that wasn't the Keeper of Secrets or Lord of Change. He
Yeah.
just went down like last time.
Alright, so in the meantime, Tim.
Real Kansas.
And I'm down to 3.
no, there's just trade vehicles.
I did it! Alright, the one that has the marker light already. Everything in the keeper. Hit.
Tough crowd destroying everything they bump into, as always.
So that's
Turning the lights back on.
And then
Fortunately, that light actually, given the lighting in the room, doesn't matter that much. So
There
we
you
can,
go.
if it turns off, it turns off. It's not the end of the world.
I got 2 more railguns.
Yeah, but Anthony just needs to make sure the lighting is on his good side.
Okay.
But that's every side for him, right?
But you still take 3. 4, 8.
The shield used to knock more wounds off than a 5.
3. Then we go. Haven't used the targeting array yet.
There's 50 infantry in this list, Jeff.
Minus 1 to be wounded.
51, I guess.
Those are what, 6s?
Yeah.
I forget to don't kill them out, which is fine.
Yay, 6.
Is he -1 to be wounded?
He's still debating seeing where he wants to potentially maybe bring on some Corvus Cabal.
So -1 to hit and.
Chosen have already done their move. Knights have moved. Untamed
they
Beast
card that
can
you
still
card,
move. They're up there from their pregame move.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess everything's still into the keeper.
And there is a lot still in the grave sites too. So
There it is.
Until 40 Graveguard and a Right King.
Yep.
Take 3 mortals.
You're gonna stand on top of that, so it doesn't matter.
8,
The save bidding.
12, 16. First hands.
No run.
Burst.
Pull 2. So that puts him at 8.
If 3 hits, no, it does not.
the Untamed Beast running over towards the objective,
They're
doing a
untamed,
little
they
bit
can't
of
be
screaming.
controlled.
So
Nope,
that's
they
3
are very
railguns.
untamed. It's like a melody.
Pile in behind there.
Well, let's, I guess. So down, that was another, down to 2 more lights.
Then we'll
He doesn't,
go-
you consume 1, so the last hammerhead, I guess, into keeper.
Rail cannon.
Yeah, this is the right
Hits.
one.
Hit. It'll be wound.
That'll be a save.
3 mortals.
Ow.
What are you down to?
I have taken 13 damage. I have 7 remaining.
Just gonna run.
So here come the Vanguard running. I'm interested to see where he places these.
Coming back. 1.
Looks like he wants to start moving them to threaten that objective all the way on the right, and
Yep.
then his opponent inevitably
Well, you're
brings
doing a
something
lot
out
better
to
than
go
you did
capture
last
that.
time. So
Yeah.
that's 4
Yeah,
hammerheads.
that's it. It also limits the placement off that grave site, right? Like so.
But there's a grave site though on the
So I guess
left
first
that he just abandoned. There's
Sky
nothing there,
Ray.
so he might have to bring down the Corvus.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that is that might be the play there is that he puts the Corvus Cabal there, or he runs this guy on to stand on top. Because if you stand on top, he can't pop in.
So 2.
Graveguard just always roll 9 inch charge though.
True.
It just
Strength
just
9.
happens unless you're me. But
That's why he plays zombies instead of Graveguard.
This one. Oh my god. Okay, well, this is going significantly worse.
I've streamed both these players before.
He's gonna auto run.
The stream didn't like me last time.
He looks on.
So,
Cursed me in on my
looks
rolls.
familiar. You might have seen it on here before.
selecting to just spin a command point, auto run the kiss, Sorcerer Lord up.
now the missiles are on 5. Alright, so,
And then at the end of the turn, the Corvus Cabal are gonna come in, and they're going to kind of.
Here they are.
Yep.
Got it. Or this
then
Shocked, I tell you.
yes, yeah,
Shocked.
it's burst cannons though still, so.
in back here.
4, 8, 12, 16.
Onto this Keeper Secrets, I'm assuming.
Yep.
The other gun's off the same.
Anthony trying to screen off
Nope, same.
on that objective. Could still be a little bit of room there.
Two more. Knights will charge.
They're not for a 20-man unit.
Here come the night charge.
Okay.
14-inch charge from the Knights, because that's a thing.
Alex just keeps wandering in here.
Just little numbers.
Pathfinders. Needs sixes. Yeah, I guess the Pathfinders will fire everything. Alright. 20. 5, 10, 15.
Anthony already claiming his intent. He wants to tag the 30 block of skeletons in.
No,
Always good to.
in the new book, did skeletons get any output? Because they
So,
used to be.
They're one attack each right now.
Yeah.
If they have more models than the unit they're attacking, they get one rend.
Okay, so they'll
That's
be.
about it.
And I think they have spears from here, so I'm guessing a 2-inch range. So he's probably going to get, if he piles them in, 8 to 10 of them
They're
in.
like 4s and 3s base.
Okay.
They
So not something that Nurgle Knights are really concerned about.
No, I really don't think there's much in this list that the Nurgle Knights are really concerned about.
I mean,
because
Kronspine's the best output in the
It's not
list.
gonna do anything with
He does wound on 2s with his jaws at least, but so it might scoop a knight or two
the
at
Knights will
most.
be -1 to wound,
Yeah, so it'll be a
Nurgle.
3 up to wound.
and they'll also reduce the rend by 1.
So it's rend 1 and 2 instead of 2 and 3. That's actually really big. And
The
they're
Knights are base 3 up,
are they base 3? Yeah, okay.
and they also have a 5 up against mortal wounds from their rune shields.
Well, that's completely useless and wasted against the Kronspine. It doesn't do mortal wounds.
But against something like the Graveguard too,
It was a joke. It was a joke.
So, they're all guys on top of it. Because they count as being within range. I think this guy's in range. So,
the Chaos Knights do have a built-in like Galician.
Yep. Basically the old
yeah, I'm gonna try to kill it.
Bretonnian style rule where they would charge in formation and be able to fight if somebody in front of them could fight.
So he's going to be dumping everything in the Kronspine here, just looking to just de-level it right off the start. And then the Kronspine will be stuck in combat because it can't retreat.
Yep.
So I think we might even see the Kronspine lifted turn 1.
Yes, second round of fighting. Yeah. It'll be interesting because it looks like the.
3s because
I didn't actually see if Anthony rolled a charge for the Chosen. That he dropped down at 9 to go kill those dogs. I mean, he didn't. I don't believe he had any.
Though, either.
No, that's true. The Chosen are very, very tanky as well.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome. 12. Alrighty. First.
There's a bunch of
Okay.
about 20 Rend 2 attacks coming from these Chaos Knights.
They're 2 damage each.
Oh, okay, so I really.
So
Okay, so
a very small 38 damage has gone through onto the Kronspine.
there's no.
And that's a Nurgle unit. Typically not known for their damage output, but the Knights slap in the current edition.
4s.
Yeah, so yeah, he's out. But it will affect the skeletons.
You got it.
So all attack coming onto the Kronspine, which will
that's
also
right.
give the skeletons +1 to hit because they're wholly within range.
Will be -1 to wound.
Minus 1 to wound. Alright, so 3 space.
2.
Okay.
Good.
He has
Yeah,
whiffed
good
on those big damage.
Yeah, that's
I don't
unfortunate.
think actually. I think at this point I'll run out of units before I run out of
Force
foresights.
to wound. Just 2 saves at -2.
Then I reduce your rend by 1.
Alright, so -1.
So I've got Mystic Shield, so I'll be at 3. Expert. I fail 1.
So 2 damage.
And then Oracle Visions Ward. Fail both of those, so I'll take 2d6.
So Kronspine Swung did 2 damage to the Knights in return.
Does that 15 more times will wipe the unit.
It is one of the tankiest units. Starting on a stock 3 up, having the minuses, their ocular visions oracular visions, whatever it is, for the extra ward save on top of that. It's just brutal.
Well, I guess charges the drones into flames.
Roll away. Oh look, you rolled a 2 or better.
And then the hammerhead.
Oh look, you rolled
I'm a bit surprised he didn't try to pile the Kron spine, a little bit more to the right to make more room for some skeletons, and then also potentially limit the attacks back next turn.
I guess that's true, but realistically, you're only looking at a couple of skeletons.
Yep, but he's got the next turn too to try to reduce the input into the Kron spine and try to keep it alive for longer than just
Yeah,
one
that's
mana.
true.
They have
That's
to
true.
hop onto that objective. So I would need a 7 here.
Oh, one fire rush. I'm gonna set to defend, by the way.
Skeletons here will be on 4s and 4s. Their rend will be reduced, so effectively got no rend.
Okay.
So you're looking at 4s and 4s into a 2-up.
I mean,
It might actually kill a knight because we got 2 moves on one.
there's one floating one. Killing a knight would be big.
Yeah, well, I can't let you
Yeah,
get 12.
that's right. Anthony does have a floater.
Yeah, that'll do it. But I don't complete the actions, unfortunately.
Oh, so you.
So now it's your X 8 plus 1 for two.
Got it? Alrighty.
And so this would be hitting on 3s for the spilled over all attack.
Oh, yep, 3s because it's
Yep.
the extra
Yep.
raw attack.
I always forget that rule of the Kron spine because we don't see them as often as we used to, but certainly so if you use a command ability on the Kron spine by the bound model that is tied to the Kron spine, then it acts as a pylon and everybody within range gets a copy of that.
Tau Sep.
T4.
That was that. Drones.
They have attacks on drones? What are they,
So
craft
6 to Anthony and Eric's turn 1.
Yeah, vehicle?
Vehicles, D3.
Is it only D3?
Yeah, it's middle bracket. Tau Sep for. Okay. That will.
Is your marker light things back?
Bizarre subdimension of the warp where you get the invisible walls.
These 3 here are gonna swing into these Tau Warrior dudes.
Okay.
And these 3 here are gonna swing into the drone dudes.
Alright.
Alright. There's a leader. The leader is fighting the drones. 1, 2, 3. 3's onto the drones.
So
There we
just
go.
as long as these skeletons and these guys are still in combat,
toughness on
I
the
get
drone?
my battle tap.
4.
3's dueling the drone.
Eric's battle tactic, Grasping Dead,
So I allow those drones
Just-
to make 5 armor saves.
an amazing battle tactic. Soulblight just got so many great ones. Essentially, what it is, you pick up your summonable units that's already in combat, and if they end, if you end the turn,
If all of your knights die.
in the turn they're still in combat, your battle tactic. It doesn't actually specify that they have to be in combat with the same unit.
Oh, interesting.
It's just
But in this situation, it's the Death
Yeah.
Rattle Skeletons and
and
the
Chaos Knights.
Chaos Knights, which both seem like it's unlikely that Anthony's going to put any resources into killing skeletons at this point because he's got the Kron spine
Yeah,
there.
you'd have to get 30 wounds through there. Which, I
And-
mean, he did to the Crown Spine, but that's on a charge with all of his knights.
Right.
So either Space Marines are really terrible, or they're as good as Space Marines.
Well, we used to have, what was it, bonding ritual where we would.
So now we have the heroic action to bring on 10 dire wolves.
Yep.
They cannot move this turn.
Well,
Seems familiar.
This, I don't have anything to spend that on.
okay, and then I'll
And
get
at the top of
2 for data intercept. Top of the round, you control 2.
That is too many wounds for you to bring down.
you have 1, 2, 3.
It's like, here's 20
1, 2,
wounds
3,
just
4, 5.
because we like you.
I ain't got no offset.
Yeah,
Because
I love it.
So
And can you do that in every hero phase? Or so
No, this is a once per battle.
Once per battle. Okay.
Yeah.
didn't see
The other heroic action they have that they can use on their turns is you add D3 models to a summonable devil pair.
Yep.
So.
Which can go above the top.
Yep.
And it's D3 models.
Yeah, so you just add 3D.
Can
Yeah.
you what's the highest wound count on a summonable model in the book?
It's actually the. I think the Kasargi Night Guard might be summonable, and they are 4 wounds each.
Seems good.
She's gonna try Spirit Gale.
But you have to see anybody trying to make Kasargi Night Guard. I don't even know if they're Night Guard, but Kasargi something. Yeah, Kasargi Night Guard.
I teleport them out.
Interesting.
Oh, we got the big Spirit Gale going off here.
They teleported out.
Rolled the unmodified 9+.
Yep.
So which means as soon as it finishes resolving, you do it again.
Oh.
So it's effectively 2 mortal wounds to every enemy on the battlefield.
Master Magic.
Okay.
Here's the magic.
To each
Master magic.
model or each unit?
Alright.
Each unit.
Yes,
Oh,
2
wow.
mortal wounds to every unit in your army.
That's annoying.
Right, I see the unit on the table.
Oh, Trevi. Yeah. Do I need to give a shout out because my friends keep bugging me too. So Kodiak, Alaska, the Emerald Game House. So if you're ever in Kodiak, Alaska, for all the people that travel there, go check it out. It's a group of guys.
There you go, champ. Next time you're up in Kodiak, next time you're swinging by.
That's a brutal spell. And getting the 9+ is huge.
Alright.
Now there are some wards that
Yep.
are in
Anthony's-
effect on a few of the armored guys, but certainly the Corvus and the beasts and the characters are all gonna.
Yeah.
Oof, that's rough.
It's definitely a rough one. It's really good in the current GHB where it's all about those small Galician
Yep.
champions and you're able to start putting
I
them
mean,
on a clock.
Yeah, you get that off like that twice in a game, and all of a sudden everyone is just holding their breath to see whether or not they die. This is interesting too because this puts a leadership issue on the table, especially for some of those non-elite units.
Yeah, primarily the 2 Warcry warbands, the Untamed Beasts and the Corvus Cabal. Now lost 2 each.
What's my leader? 5? Yeah, I think you'll get nourished for the drones.
That will succeed on a 7 because it was
Oh.
+1.
Yeah, I didn't even roll for that. I forgot I had it.
And that one was
I didn't take it in my last
Waste
two
away,
games.
so -1
So
to
play-
wounds.
So Waste Away is cast on a 7.
Specifically Space Wolves. So I reduced
So that's on your
so I
knights.
reduced you to a 5.
So
I
the
need
cast
5.
knights are now -1 damage and -1 to wound rolls.
Oof. But they only do 2 damage on the charge, I believe.
I'm gonna go.
No, I'm not killing
Right?
them.
Or am I wrong? Probably.
They all got beat up.
Um,
Not there.
I think there may be
Fading Vigor.
this turn.
Here comes Vading Vigor. This is a -1 to attack spell.
Alright. A natural 9.
On a 9, this will go off twice on the same unit.
Okay, that goes off. How many attacks do they have each?
3.
Okay, then yeah, mine's 2 attacks.
Yeah, that's annoying.
So those knights are now 1 attack each, -1 to
Yep.
wound, -1 to damage.
Hopefully this fight lasts the entire turn. And then I'm gonna cast Mystic
That,
Shield with
that
my,
could actually just keep your Cronspine alive right there.
which succeeds on
I think that's interesting about the Cronspine is even like low
Mystic
quality
Shield.
attacks.
Mystic Shield is now on the Cronspine.
Yep.
from here, 12 inches, right?
Yeah, I think the folks over.
Oh, okay.
Does not have the range because you have to be wholly within 12
she'll,
in order to do that.
she'll put it on the skeletons.
Fire. Fire warriors.
So the Skeleton Warriors are now Mystic Shield.
Okay, those are some
'Cause they
tough
weren't-
skeletons for
Already hard enough to deal with.
fairly
She's going to
limp attacks coming out of the Nurgle Knights.
So here comes the big surprise, a Tunnel Master to attack objective.
What you talking about?
That Moon Vampire Lord out there facing down the Vanguard, looking at that tough crowd and saying, what can men do against such reckless hate? This is an hour of wolves.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Getting the
Um,
Flemish kit,
Huh.
that still wasn't.
That's the conundrum I am facing. Although they can't primer as long as
I can see you would feel that way,
I'm just gonna have to
but
use
I don't
fire
feel that
Can we
way.
ignore the -2 for the first?
Is that
So they'll go 13.
maybe Tau fight fire
So-
with plasma?
Dire Wolves, he's looking to win them. They're going 13 here. essentially what you can do with dire wolves is they have a 6-inch pylon, so you don't even have to engage the chosen. If you're able to get within 6, you can then use that to then also pile on towards the objective.
I think the issue they're running into is that piece of terrain that they're going around now is garrisonable, and there's not a 3-inch gap on the other side for him to fit through between. He's got to run all the way around, even though he got a very long run, and all he needs to do is be within 6. I don't think he's within 19 once you do that circumference around.
And weapons described as using fire to attack.
Alright, so second phase.
It was another one. He hasn't even left his Kodak.
Oh, or he
He
really
uses
lazy and just
pulse,
stay there.
plasma, and any weapons
I mean, he
that
could
he
even go
described in their
Garrison
background as using plasma.
Gonna start with Belcor.
So bad.
Alright.
Real smite.
So, Necromancer, just hanging out with them, making sure in range to throw more debuffs on those Chaos Knights. We'll probably be locked up with that Kron Spine for. We'll check back on them tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it all depends because there's still the horses and the tops, right? So, like, yes,
So essentially, it's 2 attacks.
it's
each
2
model.
attacks each model, which is not a lot.
1
but
damage.
you need
And it's
the
all wounding on
Crossbind
like
roll,
4s now.
Yeah, the Crossbind roll is the important part here because he's not going to pick up. He might pick up a knight or 2.
I
and
do
that's it.
recall a game where you did 6 damage to a Kron Spine and your opponent rolled a 4,
Yeah,
and a
yeah.
Kron Spine went down a level.
It truly does suck to suck.
Yeah, I think your opponent was just terrible at Warhammer that day.
I also remember killing a boom thirster with the Ooga Booga guy.
The Care
It's
Bear's
like,
there.
what? Just keep rolling. And that was before Gersh Rage came into
Here
being.
it is. The Swarm of Grave God.
Sorry?
Is there some of the drink back there anywhere?
Do you want soft or hard?
Your secret first power will be smite.
You want a high noon? High noon?
Yes. Same exact.
And then I'll grab you a cup of water.
Take 2 mortals.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
Power of Slamashness is the Bane of Slash. I need a 6.
Damn,
That is a 10.
I'm gonna grab water. You guys both welcome.
And
Thank you.
for each
Josh
model,
Hankin,
I roll
legendary
D6 and
commentator and
5
streamer.
levels of mortal wound to a max of 6.
Grabbing waters and beverages for our
Okay.
players here.
2, 4, 6, 8.
Anthony has predicted before taking a tactical sit down during the Soulblight movement phase. Always recommended,
So take 2 mortals.
especially on a game 3.
I'm tired. Alright, balls.
Cast it twice. Cast it twice. 4 casts. First trick on the board to change the smite. Dice plus 2. So that's a 12. So that's 2 smite.
Who dat? Where? Oh, crap. The end of these highlights. Yeah, that's
2
right.
mortals.
Get up here with that garbage.
Make sure that
For my next power, I'm gonna bolster those flamers with not snow.
As much as it's a long day for us streaming, it's a long day for the players. 3-hour rounds, 9 hours of playing games.
Here you go.
He's been rolling nothing but good rules.
Artist minded. I'm an Infernal Gateway. I need 6. That is a.
So we do have at least
9
one unit
die.
of Graveyard coming on
That's not a
here.
4 plus though.
Yeah, I mean, 9th edition.
Curious to see where everything ends up because there's 2 units of 20 Graveyard and a Bright King.
Yep.
keep the other unit in grade.
So the other unit 20 is in the grave.
It's not really another good spot right now for them to pop out. They would have to pop out really far back because of where those knights are in the middle of the table. So they'd have to be off to some odd spot.
There's just not a great spot either too because if you bring them on and fail a charge, you've got Chosen on one side that can walk over and smack them, and then you've got the Varangard on this other side.
Right.
You can just walk in and smack them.
Those guys.
These guys?
Graveguard have made their 9-inch charge as they always do.
Yep.
And now into the Vanguard.
I think most of the time when I've seen Graveguard, they've had the Great Blades. So what's the stats on the hand weapon shield
I believe it's like 1 damage each.
instead of 2? Because
Is that
6s
2?
do mortals instead of,
Slightly better.
right? Or is it mortals in addition? No.
But yes, 1 damage instead of 2.
There you go.
Yeah, 9th is.
We're trying to be quiet, but the table can definitely hear us.
So they hit on 3s instead of on 4s. So you're converting more into wounds, but It's also only 1 damage instead of 2. They still do the mortal wounds on 6s, but Vanguard do have a 4 up against mortal wounds.
Right, so that'll be a challenge. Be interesting to see how this the fight fleshes out.
Vanguard over a base 3 up, so you can all defense, have them just on a 3 up against 1 damage each. I don't think it's going to be enough to impact these.
No.
If it was the Great White Blades, I'd be scared, but
Rolling like a madman, Carrie. Making up for your last game.
Yep, last game you got to just blow me off the board.
I assume
I remember.
So these are
I think the right king might be over there for the turning 6s to hit become 2 hits.
Oh, nice. Okay.
and then use your code to chain directly into
Oh, the right king did make it in the combat as well.
Oh, okay. But you can only proc once off of a 6, so he's gonna have to pick whether is it 6 to wounds do mortals?
6s do wound or mortal,
Okay,
so you
6
can
to
actually make
hit
6s
do
to
doubles.
hit, do
Okay.
doubles.
Yeah. So there's still a lot of numbers.
The right king did also make the charge in, so with Virkos, you're able to, when you attack with the Virkos hero, also then pick another unit holding as well to immediately fight after that. So
Okay.
you can chain
Yeah,
it.
so you can chain.
5, 10 at -2.
So he's taking 1 damage from the right king here.
Oh shit!
On the next 5.
So chain directly into these guys.
Wow. Okay. He lives. Oh my
So
god.
take 2.
Okay. Well. So that was a thing that happened. I made 8 out of 10.
And
5
I think
up.
overall the Vanguard will probably survive this pretty okay. They might pick up 1, maybe 2, but the lack of 2 damage here is just not as threatening.
Yeah.
They're gonna all out attack.
It's a lot of attacks, and it can, because of the 6s procking, it can turn into a
So
lot.
we've got, they're all attacking, so we've got 39 attacks coming here. They'll be on 2s and 3s, 6s explode to 2 hits.
Yep.
6 to
And
wound,
6 to
more.
wound.
So there's gonna be 2s and 3s.
But you only have to play maybe 2. There's a lot of plus.
Anthony will be on a 3 up against this and a 4 up against mortal wounds.
There's 2 hits from my white king.
Wow.
So that is 4 saves. at
Right now
once.
in 9th edition, they basically only care about the top 6
Two.
points. They just forget about which one is fair.
Shot.
Actions
Oh,
are
those
very
other
key
flamers
on
can actually.
And they can
Well,
make that actually
and then
really interesting things and rotate.
Looming on 3s, 6s causing mortal in addition.
People only think shoot that one. For 5 shots.
Falling shoulder.
5s. 2 saves at -2. Yeah, like,
Waiting for the results in
they
this
say,
wound
like,
roll.
Flamers for the most part seem to be like T6 or better. They're,
Scary.
like,
Well,
they're good at killing infantry.
Rolling 8 out of 10 5 ups also helps.
Yeah, they're not very good at killing armor.
Only 2 mortal wounds here.
I'd say they're
They're good at murdering infantry.
No, sorry, 3.
So that
3.
part is
they're not horrible.
Or 4. We'll figure it
There's
out.
a lot of dice. There's a lot of dice.
Yeah, they didn't kill us.
Anthony's been pretty good on these mortal wounds. Very average.
Yep.
He's blocked about 50%, so
A giant
it's better be average than below average. And Anthony's anything but below average.
Alright. Charge number 1.
Yes, sir.
I am 9 inches away, but I have plus
I think it was 21 saves here.
21.
21's looking for 3s. Ooh, quite a few 1s and 2s here.
Alright. I have you at 3.
And now a 6 up word from Aqua Divisions.
What did I use it? I think I rerolled the
Oh,
psychic
psychic power. You did something for psychic. Okay,
One
that's
that's
right.
wounded will take.
That is a 6, so hang out.
Wait, let me do it. 1 is wounded dies, full 1 dies, 2 wounds left over. Okay.
They're gonna charge that turn.
So we'll remove 2 models here. Because 1 was already wounded before.
Okay, you're up.
Overall, still 4 Vanguard, which have a double activation.
Yep.
Transport.
At this point, yeah.
Chaos Knight's obviously going to swing first. Tickle somebody.
We're almost dead.
I don't think I've rolled 2.
You rolled like 4.
A 6 so far is my best roll. Alright.
And then
Belcourt into those 2 tanks.
this. Yep. Makes that one, that doesn't change the number, that will 1 fire rotor launch at We're just gonna keep it easy.
Alright. Those flamers are gonna declare that tank they're standing next to and those little dudes in the back.
Okay,
You measure that for me?
nice into the Kronspine, if it moves.
So we got 4 knights swinging in the crown spine, and then 2 into the skeletons.
Yeah.
We might see a wound or 2 come out here,
Yeah.
because they are affected by waste away right now for -1 to wound rolls and damage.
Okay.
And then they're also -2 to their attacks.
For all of
Just
your
what I
profiles.
figured.
Only one attack each of the spears.
Alright, so you can interrupt, but then you don't matter.
And you are -1 to -1.
Alright, so I'm gonna start with those flamers on that one tank.
Alright.
So 1,
That guy's a boss. He's gonna take it. He's gonna make it.
3, 4,
Make 3 for me.
Alright.
A whole 3 saves coming out from the lances, but there's still the mounts.
Not enough. Yeah. You needs one more.
So, one, I assume?
Yeah. And then the horses. It'll be 3s to hit. And then it will be +1 -1. It'll be the same, so it'll be 4s to wound. Take 2 saves, no rend. You're telling me there's a chance.
Right?
Yep, the big 4 wounds. So if Eric rolls triple ones on the crown spine,
We might witness history
Come
here.
on, hero devilfish. 1.
We might see just a man broken.
it would be rough if that
Oh, you
happened.
want to see Peter roll
6
that?
a board? No, I kind of want him to blow up right there.
Yes.
I hope you don't blow up. Alright.
Blow up! Oh, I saw the 6.
Get out of here, devilfish.
Alright. Start with
Okay.
what
The word
crown
change.
spine. 2 bites for being level 1.
T7 on those vehicles?
Yes, sir.
Now, the spells that went off on the Chaos Knights, I think people underestimate that in the Soulblight book. Everybody likes to complain about the wound density,
Yep.
the skeletons, the zombies being such a big problem, but when you add in that,
The fact that they can be affected by the spell twice is kind of the kicker,
Yep.
right? It's not that it affects another unit, because a lot of things,
So
there's a
the-
couple of
it-
kit
it's-
spells and other things where if you roll a certain number, you get a D3 units instead of 1, but it's a if you're affected or not a every time you're affected, you get the minus.
it's interesting because the Fading Vigor for the -1 attack on a 9+ becomes that one unit gets -2 attacks.
Yep.
But on the 9+ on Waste Away, which is the -1 to wound and damage, you get to pick 2 units with it.
Oh, interesting. So that one can't stack, but you also can't stack minus. Oh, actually could.
You could stack a bunch
Yeah,
of -1 to
-1.
wounds, but
Yep.
it caps out. It does cap on them.
So, Big Bird.
Because in
I'll just do your 2
I
and
think it was Avangori I saw that you could potentially put units on -3 and -4 to wound.
take 3.
Roll 6s or do nothing.
Not that I've read the book and are conjuring
It's like, oh.
evil things, but
How tanks explode for
I did have to double check the core rules there and find that the modifier
Yeah,
for
the
wound rolls
modifiers
does
on saves and hits is what's capped to plus or minus
Saves,
1.
hits, and
wounds.
wounds.
And wounds.
Great card.
yeah.
Skyray. It'll be 3s.
So
Very
here's the
guard
Vanguard.
swinging.
Into the graveyard.
And 3 wound. 3 saves, run 2. Okay.
Only 3 saves at Ren 2.
So they're still gonna get a 6 up for their shields.
These graveyard do have the shield, so they'll be on a 4-up base.
Oh, little shooters
That
inside.
does happen when we play 3.
So damage 2.
So this is gonna be 5s, rerolling 1.
I'm hoping for more explosions out of these
They
things.
do have a 5-up ward save because the Right King there that's in combat with them
Nope,
has the
rerolling
artifact
one.
to add 1.
Nope.
And rerolling once in the banner.
How I always go say, start getting better. You have. So I'm gonna stay outside of 4, so that you can't consolidate into me.
Mounts, as always, outperforming the riders.
As is tradition.
I think if you wanted to make the ultimate unit in this game,
It would
what
just
you
be
do is just put a horse mounted on another horse.
Yes.
So 2
Yeah.
more.
Bring it down.
Instead of, some sort of centipede horse style.
Alright, you're good to go with your spell then?
Yep.
Bellicor, so that one has 11 left,
Yep.
and the other one
8.
has 8 left. I'm gonna put 4 tacks.
Here come the skeletons,
8 left.
looking to tickle and might maybe do a wound here.
Strength 12.
It's a lot more attacks than last time, for sure. Because with the 2-inch reach, and now they've piled it twice.
It's annoying balls before.
But still, it's
So 9.
the debuffs were offensive on those knights. They're still Nurgle knights.
So,
10 dudes.
regardless, in the end of this turn, we will have a 5-point turn for Soulblight for hold 1. hold to their battle tactic and having one of those flank objectives with the Galatian champ.
Yep.
So we'll be looking at a 6-5 after round 1.
Don't forget to
And the big slog that is just going to go on forever down here.
For the vehicles,
including the champion, so 13.
But
Yeah, and this is one of the situations that even if Anthony gets the turn, he's still gonna have those debuffs on him.
yeah,
But 2 casts of a natural 9 is rough.
down to 7.
yeah, and even if Anthony does get the turn, he's still got the Varangard to hit up with a bunch of Graveguard that are 5 ups.
Yep. Yeah.
1 save,
So,
-1 rent.
2 1 battle leader. Distribute leaders of your army. Nothing. I get nothing for it.
Okay.
So
Skeleton's doing absolutely nothing.
let's do that.
And
go against
so.
Yep. Anthony electing to use the double Varangard attack this turn. Probably a good move because otherwise he's just gonna get attacked next turn
3, 4,
anyways.
5, 6,
Yeah,
7 there.
if Eric is basically, if he doesn't take the swing, then Eric is in a much better board state, even though he's down die, because almost everything except for the Chosen are tied up. And the Soul Screen Bridge is still on the table, so
Yep.
Anthony does not have that tool available to pull something out of combat.
Yep. And send it someplace else.
Tile set.
You officially rolled nothing above it.
Alright.
So if he can reduce this Graveguard down to a more manageable number, then he'll have to make Eric think a little bit too. If he wants to take the turn to essentially preserve what's left of the Graveguard.
Yeah, so it looks like he cut that Graveguard unit in half. He just lost another 5. Oh, and now the horses swing.
Yeah, horse is always outperformed, so we'll probably watch even more.
Hoss's boss.
I move your vehicle with 1 armor save a dash.
Good.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4 little looters. 4. You charge me again, and I set you again.
So,
6. Now,
battle shock. I will use d6 plus 2.
foods.
So out of command points for Soulblight, you're losing d6 plus 2. So 4 Graveguard. Are they running, or are they just kind of disintegrating, falling apart in shambles?
I assume it's similar to like Total War 3 or one of the Total War games where they kind of eventually crumble back into the earth.
So, middle bracket over there.
There is a chance over here. I need a 5.
Here it comes.
6.
No.
Tile set.
No, he's absolutely fine.
There.
Cronspine, absolutely fine.
Yep.
Even with 1 7 up.
Yeah.
But
Crownspine
I
fine.
think that's his
There was a
live
chance.
Fisher might be different.
This is one more of the Untamed Beasts. His Corvus are fine.
So 2 Untamed Beasts gone, because 1 fled, the other
Yep.
for coherency.
Really? You just go from top to like not?
For that, you score 5 points.
Yep. Nothing.
Alright, so.
Okay, turn 2 priority. This is interesting.
Side there. So leadership -3.
Got a 1, so your call.
Well, Anthony gets to choose on
I think
priority.
this has happened in every single one of our
It says
games.
we have had a lot of 2s and 1s.
It is the stream curse of priority rolls.
And
Anthony wins it with a 2 over a 1. It's like to give Soulblight.
He gave Soulblight the turn, unshockingly, because otherwise he would have those debuffs still sitting there. He still has the Chosen sitting on the other side of that bridge.
You have 3 units here, and I have the middle.
No, the territory is just the middle. Yeah. So I will take a cunning maneuver.
4 last turn, 3
So,
turn.
cutting maneuver for the battle tactic, basically another guaranteed 5-point turn here.
Yep.
The roll here, so I didn't get anything.
But probably going to be looking for more.
Or 6.
Anthony very safe in giving it away. Clear the debuffs off his Chaos Knights. They're not under any threat from the Cronspine or Skeletons. He's whittled down the Graveguard to a more manageable number with his Varangard.
Is there a way in the current book to bring model? I know you can bring a unit back, but there's no way to add models back into a unit as you go. There is.
Yeah, there's still.
Well, you said
you can
there's the command
you pick
ability.
3 units.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll get
This is part of all of the Soulblight ones.
Okay.
You pick 3 units. They have to be different units.
Yep.
And that are wholly within 12 of grave sites. And you can return 3 slain models. If they have to be wholly within 12 of grave sites, wholly within 12 of heroes. And you return 3 slain models. If you're wholly within 12 of the grave site, you get to return 1 extra model. It's actually 3 wounds. I'm going all
Yep.
backwards.
That's fine. So basically,
Hey, basically, these Graveguard
so
are
at
gonna
he's
get,
going
like-
to get 4 guys back in the grave. Okay.
And the Dire Wolves would essentially return 1. And then if they're wholly within 12 of grave site, we get another 1.
Right.
Then I picked up my command dice and never flipped it immediately, so I'm at 3 or am I at 4?
I had you at 2, so you're up to 3.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
What is this?
I'm at 4 and you're at 3.
Yep, 1.
But I will spend a CP. Well, like gain 1.
Ties-
You
ties
gain
are
1
one,
spend,
right?
so used to be.
No, it's not anymore.
They changed it?
Yeah.
C3s get
Alright.
is that?
Easier to remember.
Yeah, they made it yes or no.
Nothing
Like
is
you
optional.
get it or you don't, not a differential.
Okay.
Those Cowboy George and
Alright,
plus 2 to charge.
so there's a fight.
Didn't make it.
So Von Hels has been cast on the skeletons. So
Chance
essentially what
Macabre.
happens
Which is what
is
Tale as old as time.
a unit, it did change. Before it was in your next combat phase you had to essentially fight twice.
Yep.
Now it's you have to pick a summonable unit that's wholly within 18 and is already in combat, and
Yep.
they get to immediately just pile in and fight again.
Yep. Which
Another
Eric has elected to use the skeletons, and they are going in.
Yeah, they did a whole 0 damage the last time they swung, and I think 0 the time before.
But now there's more.
So you're saying they're due? That's what I'm hearing.
We might get one this time.
I can hop in here and then bounce. I can tactically disengage. I'll do that. What is her weapon for shooting?
It's got like a lattice cannon version or a specifically.
Cast Knight's still on a 2-up with a 6-up word.
D3 shots. It has 2 settings. One that's like anti-tank and one that's anti-infantry. Alright. One shot of anti-tank.
What's interesting to me is the Soul Screen Bridge is still on the table. It has not been removed.
One damage heavy bolt.
Well, I think at this point it's a. Oh,
Ladies and
oh,
gentlemen,
okay.
we have 1 point of damage being allocated to those Chaos Knights by skeletons. Is that game?
It could be.
So we're gonna move in there, get inside. He's gonna move over here, and he's within 9 of the board edge.
Alright,
So he's
well,
going to tactically disengage and then go into reserve.
she's gonna cast.
Gary, we did morale on your turn, right?
On to who?
All the fire warriors.
Yep.
Yeah, they all made it.
Nice.
Even with like
I'm
minus,
gonna cast,
even with like
Spirit
minus 3.
Okay.
But I guess this fireworks
for
like
money 8.
Try to stop it.
Which I think
But
is
it's
better
only
than-
1.
I
As
think
long
it's
as
better
the
than
as long as the sergeant. Yeah, still don't.
Still don't.
So Spirica has gone off on an 8, so it's just 1 mortal wound for everything on table. Yeah, only 1 mortal
Only
wound.
one to everything on the table. No range. That's
It's
Yeah.
just odd that fire warriors are like, no, we're doing that.
so.
We get almost murdered all
We
the
just
time.
saw a Chaos Knight picked up because they took 1 mortal wound from the was it Spirit Storm. If the skeleton had not done a wound, that would still be an alive model.
They're more confident because they're technical.
That is true.
Yeah.
The math checks out.
Bonding knife too.
There are now,
Take one on the.
I believe, 2 dead Chaos Knights.
Yep,
If this keeps up, he might only have 1 or 2 left at the end of the game.
that's true.
Then
That's why they're
within
the one
range
better
of
than the
grave
guardsmen.
site, so they're gonna get
Because their rifles and armor are better quality.
Who's gonna fall back?
Why?
Reasons. Different reasons.
So 4 Graveguard coming back.
Okay.
I guess in the new edition you'll be able to do like a little overhang. They won't like disqualify you from the game. You're winning slightly over the table,
Let's see. Oh yeah.
which
So
is nice.
the Pathfinders will run 7.
None of them
How
are.
did the Pathfinders not run? They needed insane hero.
Oh,
I don't think they rolled.
maybe that's what.
They needed a 1.
They did not.
Because they just lost like 8 of their closest friends.
So unfortunately, we are really close to the players' tables. We
You
can't
didn't have the CP to burn on it.
give too many thoughts
Yeah.
on what we think of this.
Start with 5.
I'm not quite sure I would like that, that Von Hell's
They're
that
the only
turn,
assholes right now that can get to
but
that.
we can get to that.
Yeah.
So, is it worth 2 CP? I don't think so. So let's see. On a 1.
Thanks, Trevor.
Nope.
Direwolves moving up.
And the hounds do have a 6-inch pylon, I believe, in the
6-inch
current book,
pylon.
so they can move all the way up, and as long as they're within 6, they can slide on in and take some nips at.
They don't even have to.
But he
They could just
now.
use their pylon
Yeah, so he's
to kind of swing around.
Oh,
except
true.
that
They don't even have to engage them. 'cause
They don't
can
even
stay
have
at
to
6, yeah.
move into combat range.
You just like go to it and you just go to the cards in the board and it's just like
Just
free
4s and
form.
4s.
Like you can only do it once.
Plus 1 for
I might get the good bits, which is just you just keep
And then he's saying if he wants to redeploy
It's like
yeah,
Pokeballs.
Sorcerer Lord, because it has taken like 3 mortal wounds now.
It has, yeah.
So it could just die to dire
He did. He healed somebody in his hero phase. I wasn't sure if it was that sorcerer or the other one.
Thing that holds Taos from
Might have been the other one.
is they're slightly
I think he's trying to
lackluster.
scream with the beasts.
And then okay,
We're
so
in the Beast of Chaos. Beast of
he has
Untamed
two
Beast.
wounds on him,
Yes.
right?
I have taken 3 damage because you blew up.
I
Screaming
mean, beasts
off.
of chaos are everywhere. They might show up in this battle. We could see.
Yeah.
Yeah. D6 4 step in a 6-inch array. It makes no sense.
That's like a ninth.
Makes no sense. But I mean, it won me. Oh,
Yeah,
our
I mean,
judge.
very
Alex,
heads up redeploy here.
When I played him and I had the double.
Trying to see if he could stop the boogeyman of Soulblight.
Yep. Yeah. We'll see.
Necromancer will run
Okay, so
an inch.
Bellacor's a piece of junk.
That's not going to be enough. So
He's a
you wanna
piece of
have
junk.
it this way instead.
Lots of stuff needs to die.
They must have fusion reactors.
I can.
I think that is literally the.
Eric keeping his Necromancer within 3 of a 7 unit, so he could pass off wounds. I don't think in this matchup you even need to care about it. Because there's no shooting. There's nothing that's really going to charge all the way back there and get into the Necromancer.
Right. And that's a garrisonable piece of terrain that they're kind of dancing around to, so it is effectively impassable unless you jump inside. Although, interestingly, get more close to the table, so I'm going to bite my tongue.
Help me.
So we have a run by this
Help
unit
Big Bird.
Direwolves up. Basically just trying to ensure that these Vanguard are just tied up as much as possible.
Okay.
And don't think he ran these, so he can potentially charge them. And get onto the objective.
Yeah, I need to kill. I think I need to kill Big Bird. So.
The big question is, will we see the second unit of 20 Graveguard?
That's true. There's still a lot of bodies.
I think that's it. That's all that's left.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But it's still 20 more bodies on the table someplace.
I think it's 12, right?
What's his profile? This Nerval guy? Defensively?
He's got 4 up save, 5 plus save 1.
Okay.
Let's go try to deal with Big Bird here.
My direwolves will charge.
Okay. So 18
To 7.
Direwolves charging, try to get to this Chaos Sorcerer Lord.
Yeah, we'll do
Okay.
it.
He's gonna see if he can potentially try to kill him here.
So
1 inch range on the direwolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. I don't know if they're GCs.
Start of the shooting phase.
But I
Even so.
did see in one of the games in the last round 2 Direwolves kill a Necromancer.
I mean,
So
that sounds like,
No, it's 3.
anything can happen here
Last time it was so trash. One roll.
at the Ironweld GT.
yeah, that's true. It's crazy. I mean, almost like there's dice in the game. Although
Sounds a
I
little
do-
wicked
I-
dicey.
It does. I do believe there's only 3 or 4 that can attack him. The way it looks like they're set up, and he has 4 wounds remaining on the Sorcerer Lord.
Exactly.
All right. Okay.
So players measuring this Direwolf charge before they roll it. Looks like he needs a 10. Try to get into the Chaos Sorcerer Lord on top objective.
Yeah, I guess the. Well, mark colors don't matter.
Mark whites do matter.
No, I
That's
mean,
true. You just get -1.
I guess because marker lights.
Alright, that's
Oh,
how
you're,
many
so you're
charges.
shooting. So
What's
who
going to
are
be
you
interesting
shooting
here
marker
is actually the order in which Eric chooses to fight,
Yeah, the
because
results started my
I thought you
shooting.
were shooting.
does he fight with the direwolves, or does he fight with
So
the
I guess
grave
the
guard,
first one,
or does he go with
everything
the other
is ordered.
direwolves on the other side?
D3 plus 1. First guy right closest one here.
No morals. 2.
This is the right king swinging
I am
into the
close
Vanguard.
also.
Oh, because he'll be able to chain into
To the
the
grave guard.
grave guard, which I believe there are 9 grave guard left there.
My grave guard.
This guy right?
Got it, yes, he's good.
But he did limit some space
2 wins.
with where he put the wolves, so he can't pile in completely, but still plenty in there.
CP. Okay. I get 2.
So 17 attacks.
4, 8,
That's,
12,
how
16.
many models? Yeah, we'll just do it this way.
17 attacks
Just
coming
8.
here.
So 8 models left then, right? 2 apiece plus
Yeah.
the champ.
Might be something in our combat. Now, if he had more command points available, just saying, he could use the realm rule to give them +1 attack.
Because
Like they are 2 inch reach, and that
Oh,
would.
they are with the hand weapons.
Oh no, yeah, they don't have the. They just have the hand weapons, but
That's
he's
actually
still in range.
incredibly
He doesn't, have to,
strong.
he doesn't have to pile in.
That
He could just get an
I didn't even
extra attack
realize
bonus.
the realm. I mean, I haven't played a ton in this edition, but that realm rule was incredibly powerful on some units like that. Like we saw the I think it was round 1 that
The Deepkin game had a lot of uses of +1 attack from
Yep,
the realm rule.
yep.
If you're wondering what game that was, you can find it on this channel.
yeah earlier
Came out
today.
Earlier today.
There's
Round
some
one.
very good chat comments in there.
Well, looks like the Vanguard have just shrugged it all off.
I think they took one wound out of the grave guard attacks.
Doesn't matter. They got 5 wounds each. They don't care.
Within 12.
They don't care.
Just the entire army is like cool.
They're like a bunch of zombies after an FAQ. They don't care.
But he's still not. It doesn't matter. I'm shooting into the
This boy's
Oh, right, yeah, that Matt threw me off, thanks.
One race so far.
Targeting right.
Keep it.
Accept.
Anthony figuring out the best way
Good.
to activate over here.
Burst cannons.
Understanding
4,
that
8,
what's
12,
happening in the center of the table,
16.
nothing's going to threaten those knights. So it's all about this combat here. Or over there with the Vanguard.
Yep. Well, it depends. If he thinks the dogs, are a threat to the sorcerer on the right,
So that's the
because you
first
can
guy
get a
raised.
lot on a 6-inch pylon.
Long strike.
Yeah.
And those Vanguard should pick up a lot of dogs.
Targeting
Or,
right.
I mean, 6 attacks, but 3
2
guys.
turns in a row. Snake eyes. Well done.
So those players talking about figure out how many attacks potentially going into that
Because he
sorcerer.
is still limited that he has to be closer. So he. Right, so they're talking through this right now, but basically, like, even though they have a 6-inch pylon, they still have to follow the pylon rules, where a model needs to be same distance. Yes.
The
So-
grave guard will all out defense.
Interesting here. Anthony is splitting his attacks, 2 in the Graveyard, 2 in the Direwolves. Very curious why he's not attacking the right king, who's on a 3-up save, but
And also giving rerolls of 1 and a 5-up save to those guys.
yep. And the right king is the one with the artifact that's giving them the 5-up wards.
Yes, exactly.
So we can take that out.
On who?
Pigmer.
Good.
Take 3 mortals. 2 each.
Yeah, those are the kind of dice that you run over with your car after the game.
And then the dogs, or the hoops into them. We're looking for again,
So,
fours.
4 Graveguard already being taken down.
I'm saying word change.
Oh shit. Nope, nothing on that. I declared the
fiends?
the fiends.
And then
so
whiffed on the mounts. The mounts!
Yeah, well, you know what? We talked them up too much.
I mean, what if you put a Maw Crusher on another Maw Crusher? Imagine how
Uh,
damage that could be.
That would be a lot. That'd be a lot. It'd be weird. And I feel like, I feel like someone modeling that is going to do something completely inappropriate.
Guys up there. Mounts into what's his name? I'm gonna spend 2 CP for breach and clear, so I reroll wounds,
4 saves coming into dire wolves. I think they're base 5-up save.
Can't remember the name of it.
And Eric did use all at defense on the Graveguard.
Sixes, auto win. So breach and clear. And
Couple more of them, couple of them. Like tomorrow we might be having some
The players themselves are kind of laughing at the fact that this is
Two very
an irresistible
durable
force and
armies.
an immovable object.
so fours.
Yeah, so now they're going through the pylon shenanigans that even though they can move further, they still have to remain at the same distance or closer to the unit they're closest to. So those untamed beasts are actually taming the beasts. They are taming the direwolves.
So there's one left, so this is the last one.
And especially the direwolves only have a 1-inch range, and the unit's large enough, there's some coherency limitations as well. So.
It's not going to be much into your guide.
So take 6. Okay.
Eric really hoping to take out this Chaos Sorcerer, prevent the extra point scoring, but even if he takes out the beast, he'll be able to score.
Well, but
his
this
6 points a
isn't
turn.
one where a GC will control it, right? So like, Anthony will have to fight it. Now, granted, he has a unit of Chosen there that I think could probably pick up those direwolves.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see if the Chosen decide to pick up the direwolves, or if they say, you know what, let's just pick up these skeletons, because that's 10 Chaos Chosen with corn marks that are extra attacks.
Is that extra on the charge or just always
I
extra?
think it's +1 on the charge.
Yeah. I actually think to save his sorcerer over there, he's going to have to put in those Chosen into that unit.
Okay, shot somewhere here.
+1 on the charge.
Railgun.
Sure, let's do this.
Here. And then burst
Whole
cannon.
lot of
in range.
nonsense. Gonna come over
They
here.
are not.
Yeah,
Burst
sure.
cannon's in Belfour, I guess.
Players getting chummy, going to the same side of the table. 'Cause that's where.
That's where all the action is.
Tau step. Win. Take 3 mortals. And then 4, 8, 12, 16. Into Bellator.
On 5s. No rerolls possible.
Take 1.
Oh,
So we'll have.
abuse.
And then the final hammerhead to everything in the big book.
Anthony now prioritizing the skeletons, putting
Yeah. No, you're not -1 attack. You're just -1 to wound.
so does not have Fading Vigor on him, but is -1 to wound and damage from waste away.
Alright, so
And Macron Spine's Mystic Shield dropped off, I believe.
It didn't have one last time. It wasn't in range.
Didn't?
Yeah,
Oh,
he
that's
put
right.
on the
You're right.
skeletons last time.
4, 8, 12, 16.
Specifically to kill themselves, and I think they rerolled their
Roll
hit
coherence,
points
eh?
into ones, so
3's
they
to
did
hit,
not.
and then 3's to wound.
So that I failed my charge, which was very funny.
You are looking at my friend.
That was the very
9 render.
Yep. So 1.
Good.
Damage?
That, everybody but them, so they'll dump everything in Bellator.
Reroll 1 for the banner. Nope.
5,
Precision of the
10,
burst cannon.
6 dead skeletons.
3s and 4s for
High
the
output. We need
Interesting choice to put the swings into the skeletons instead of kind of maximizing the Macron Spine. I'm sure there's some thought process there. I'm not. For me, I think I probably would have tried to toss everything I could into the Cron Spine and hope to pick it up.
Yeah, because the skeletons are going to bring
You're gonna bring
models
them
every
back,
combat phase.
and they're the same defensive stat pretty much. Also, there's no hero close enough. It looks like to give all the defense to the Cron Spine, so you would end up.
It's also less likely to kill
Okay.
because you level one per model instead of basing it on the number of attacks. So if you shoot
9
3 or 4
and
times with a plasma weapon,
Then
oh,
you don't get
I guess combat.
I have
just 2
roll
and then
defense,
2
so that
for
will
each.
change.
Check.
2 or 3 times to
He's unleashed the hounds to the chaos sorcerers.
He's using what looks like to be a little dinosaur, kind of like raptor
Those,
undead.
I believe, those are the mounts for Dark
Cold
One
One?
Riders.
The
Cold
Dark
One
One.
Riders, yeah. The dark. I forget what they're called.
We can't even make hound jokes here.
No, we can't. He's
alongside the
He's got a 2 and save.
Activate monster order change.
Oh, yeah. Alright.
Because I gave him all defense.
His army is so cold-blooded.
So does he have
check it and see.
Bracket.
Cold-blooded.
We're gonna hit you with his
3 towers at -2.
Sick. How about his 2 attacks? I think 3s and 4s.
Make one.
Yeah,
2 at no rest.
So what does he degrade? What do you use?
I don't feel
Damage?
1 each.
Oh, okay. I used it
2
for
more
random
towers.
attacks.
Yeah.
Sorcerer batting dogs on the nose, or raptors, as we were just talking about.
Next, ongoing combat.
it can be rerolled,
Alright.
chat.
Here. We'll do the same
Fireworks.
You can reroll the hazardous test.
It's actually 3s and 3s. I cheated myself.
The difference is that it's not affected by like reroll,
1.
like
No
hit
rest
reroll,
on the dogs.
but
Town
you
set.
roll less dice,
1.
and there are less.
No, Chaos Sorcerer Lords fighting dire wolves.
Eh.
Peak Warhammer.
Yeah.
Combat is me.
4 to hit.
These flamers, 4 flamers into these guys, and
Okay.
one into
And then
1 team to tanks.
These don't usually survive to be in combat, so I think
Anthony, unfamiliar with the output rules of sentient beasts, as they don't normally get to fight.
Take damage.
Yeah, generally they're just meant to be there and eat a bunch of damage and then
And
disappear.
I believe they're one of the fun Warcry units that has like 7 profiles depending on which model it is.
3 on
Yep,
No,
so
I
it's-
think they're pretty uniform.
but then there's like a 2 wound model in the unit, and there's
No, yeah, there's that, but I think their attack profile is pretty uniform.
The other
to
ones is
MTBs.
okay.
They're all about the same.
3.
Resaves here.
direwolves have a 5-up stock.
Yep.
And that's why, unfortunately, one of these leadership 6.
Okay.
Love it.
And we just
Sure.
And
rolled
he-
36s
Yep.
for ward saves.
Alright.
Those
This
towers
man
at
is
the fire.
really good at Warhammer.
That's it, right?
Yep.
So
I'm going.
You're
Well, I've got all this fighting.
No, you might as well be
Yeah.
on, but-
They were ready to move on, and then they remember that there's this cron spine in the middle.
Super miss.
2 hits. Winning on 3s is a -1.
You get on 6s.
Yep. So 2 saves at -3.
-2.
So I'm at 2 up,
that's
so
all
I got.
Leadership.
Alright,
-5,
8.
6.
Oh, 8 damage coming through.
Two,
the big
two,
old bites.
two jaws got through.
Roar.
Alrighty.
That was not good.
Don't think that was in his plan.
Apparently you were.
Let me check the notes.
Yeah.
Yep, not in the plan.
Cron spine can do a lot of damage, especially
Allegedly.
even the minus rend.
And I start the turn, so.
One more save at effectively no.
Still failed.
Alright, so 2.
Fails that one too. Another 2 damage
So
coming through.
3 of those Nurgle Knights got scooped by the Cron spine, which
Oof.
yeah. I mean, even with the minuses, the jaws wound on 2s, so they're moving to 3s, and even with -1 with the rend, they're still rend 2. So it can do a lot.
And now here come the skeletons, shambling their way in.
Well, they did one last time, and it scooped a knight, so we'll see
Another
see what we get.
5 minutes for this pile in.
I only get 8 points. No, 4 points.
You control 3, so you got 8.
I don't control that. You have homesick. Oh, I hold that. Yeah, I get it.
Everyone is still standing.
It does seem like being able to get a 6
So it's me 22 plus 1 for
you can't tell the perfect.
So skeleton math here. If you got 8 dead, and you had 22 in combat, easier to count the models slain sometimes.
Interaction on the board. So click triangle.
To be fair, they're skeletons. They were slain long ago.
They were so badass, by the way. Absolute Jen. I love that guy.
4 is because of your minus 1.
I always kind of like Crimson Fists. Their ability
Well.
is pretty sweet.
2.
And Cloudbreakers too.
2 saves. Coming
Still
through.
fail one for you.
Alright, thanks.
And one failed.
That
And-
means I'm the guy with the
wait,
mood.
no, there's
No,
one
no,
more.
no, no, yeah, it was one counting up.
Because it's
There's
are
one
there
mistake.
ren one base?
They're Ren 1 when they outnumber you.
Okay, so actually it doesn't make me lose them because they have Mystic Shield and they're
Okay, yep.
There's not. Thank you.
So, no wound actually.
Yep. Plink, 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 plink.
Alright. So then that's all of the combat.
All right.
Alright, so they'll fail on a
And
3.
that's just a transport, right?
You.
Nope, they're fine.
They're fine. How about dogs?
Dogs will fail on a 6, I believe. 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5. Yep, they'll fail on a 6. They do.
A lot of bravery checks happening.
Yep.
Even for a Death
They're
Army.
totally fine. They can't roll above 10.
I'll lose 1 on a 6 at the Corvus. I'll lose 1 on a 6 with the Untamed Beasts. We're good. Nobody. I lost 3 knights. Which would mean that on a 6 I lose 1. And I'm gonna roll it because I'm not gonna roll 6. Look at that.
I'm gonna pay 2 command points out.
Anthony betting on not rolling a 6 on bravery for the knights.
Correctly betting.
Correctly betting.
Seven's been really good at Warhammer.
Hindsight's 2020.
Is he in melee?
You still
Very
teleport.
hard.
You have to make a normal movement, which you can't do when you're engaged.
I mean, look, when you got an 84% chance to pass Battle Shock, it's pretty good odds.
I take those odds. Especially because it's going in a bottom of 2, and I think Anthony's going to need his command points here. I think this is a turn that he's going to either push out and be able to make a big play, or
7 if you count the skeleton.
One, two
So-
more
3.
battle tactics.
Shoot phase.
Okay.
Oh yeah, 6 points. Yep, sorry.
No psychic phase.
Fortunately, here what's
so
gonna happen.
6 point turn to Eric.
Oh.
Because he'll have 1, 2 more. Because unlike the last mission, the GCs just count as regular GCs.
Take 2 mortals.
On.
I'm assuming that tank's closest thing to me.
Okay. 12.
I'm going to
Yeah, Tyranids are definitely the way to go in 9th edition for sure.
train shades on a 6.
It's gonna be an interesting spot for Anthony because all of those buffs are gonna wear off now. So your
I'm going to
Mystic Shield, your Ocular Visions,
Yep.
and those Chaos Knights are not in range for rebuffs.
Yep.
Smite is my
That's
first
true.
power. That is a 12. I'm gonna re-roll that because I don't want perils.
CP.
But those chosen are.
Yeah, I was just going to say those chosen have not done anything, and they're corn chosen, so they're going to pick some place and murder.
Guys in front of me.
But there's no, well, I guess maybe the dogs have some blood in them, but there's not really blood for the blood god on the table, is there?
I can roll a 12 and just kill myself.
It's more like embalming fluid for the blood god, which doesn't quite have the same ring to it.
Got an Infernal Gateway. Need a 6. That's a 3, so it does not go off. And for my our 3rd power, I'm gonna Bolt of Change. And this
Range
5.
Up to 3? I could also just say, like, I mean, lift all your shit. We're done.
I'm gonna
But it wouldn't mean anything because it's not a rule.
That's a 10.
I gotta clear off Scatter Check. Is that what I want to do?
Here, Smite. Is a 5. Perils.
So now we're at Anthony's bottom of 2.
No other powers with it. I could Bane Slash. It's like, you only
He's going to clear the objective. I'm not sure what battle mission that is. What battle tactic that is. Slaves of Darkness battle tactic of clear the objective, and he is going to clear off that leftmost objective on your screen.
My heroic action
Revving up position.
will be
Space Marine
Got it.
models to
Shooting flames.
Okay.
6.
basically take.
You understand why we want you to go back and move your entire
Oh, no, I get you, but you
One
gotcha.
along the
You
clock.
gotcha now.
I got you.
Yeah. No, but, you know.
Powerful weapon.
You're not got you.
In
Yep, that was, gotcha.
Toughness on those guys?
4.
composition that you wanted. So you would have random.
Three
We're
sixes.
going to give him
Sixes is a special weapon. So
Roll it.
3 dice
it's a
on
big
the
thing right now.
ISS.
Tons of opportunities.
I'm going to
These flamers
give my
on the white system, the spark strike guy.
One strike? Yep. Okay.
Take compositions of like random.
And I guess I get 2 actually.
Just fill your
right.
dice with special
He's
weapons
also going to cast on
that they couldn't normally take. That make them extremely powerful.
So Anthony took the it's Slaves of Darkness object. Pick an objective and clear it.
Yep. So I assume the one with the dire wolves on it.
Correct.
All the way on the left.
Yeah.
Let's go for some spells.
As long as there's no Soulblight. Within 12 of that objective.
Yep. Which is the dire wolves.
Goes off on a 12.
Yeah, Jedi. That's the
Give
exact
that
one.
to
Especially once they made them 3
We're gonna go
you just
for
like, you take
a-
bounty guns and every model, like, or every unit champion in your army, like every model in your veterans class. It's like, once you paid for them, it was one thing, but you never saw half the profiles, because if it wasn't a common plasma or a common alpha, that wasn't worth the point. And if it was, then you would just make as many of them as you could.
Yeah. On a 9.
So 5.
range,
10,
so I'll
15,
need a
20
9 on
pounds.
the dice because he's got the +1 for the crossbow.
Yep.
That's a 5. So that happens.
Vanguard getting all sorts of bugs.
Let's go for.
Mhm.
He's going to trick at rolling an
Like
ISS.
one?
Right.
7.
Yeah, they just made it so any of those weapons
So
are like,
previously, Anthony had used the heroic action to give 3d6 roll for the sorcerer on the left-hand side of the screen.
So you're rolling 1 dice.
So
Charge phase.
if you're rolling one of them,
baked around building combi weapons.
That
I'm
is.
hoping that they'll have
Oh, no.
That's
I
also
want a chance to.
+1
I want to charge Hawkstrike.
I'm having actually. Now I'm having an issue of too many casts.
So
Not enough of like-
both the sorcerer lords are now on 3 casts each.
mm-hmm.
So, we'll
This is actually a situation. I'm trying to speak very quiet so they can't hear me at the table. The realm spell is not terrible here, although it's going to hit himself. I think if he's, I'm not sure if he moved off the objective.
It's only the dire wolves. It'd be on a 4 d6 mortals.
Yeah, he's going to get that.
Although the chosen will do the work, right? So never mind.
So we'll just bolt the guys that he's in with.
How many? Split for 1.
So he elected an arcane bolt.
Let's go.
In 3s. Tau 7.
Interactive visions on the Baron Guard. Interactive visions on the boys here.
Wasn't there a guy that had 2 wounds there from
Yeah.
Tony?
Baron Guard and the Chosen both getting their regular visions.
And it
No
is
big surprise there.
For the Crossfire?
Yeah, everything just. Oh no, sorry. I think it's.
Blast in a
Let
way.
me double check.
Yes, because that'll potentially. So we'll go to movement.
So Anthony's Pylons have brought the Chaos Knights outside of Holy Within 8 of the Crown Spine. It
Yep.
is level 1, so he's now able to retreat those Chaos Knights. Massive,
Yep.
because he needs to get them back so he can rebuff them next turn. Maybe
And
even
probably
rally them.
Rally, because isn't there a 5-up rally on? Not on Chaos Knights.
Uh,
You can declare a charge.
I know there's a way that slaves get a 5-up rally.
There is in like Host the Everchosen, but he's Kabbalist for the 3d6 cast and the extra spells.
Readout if you send a message to his
So don't believe their War Scroll has anything on it.
However you want to do it, I appreciate it.
He likes being there.
Yep, nothing on their War Scroll, so they're just rallying on 6s. But if you're really good at Warhammer, you just roll 6s.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Double corner that rail can.
Okay.
Right there.
That one went from randomly dying.
And the screen on the back end with that
Capital
claw.
Beast.
Let's go with
Curious spot for a screen. I don't like it because it opens the opportunity where Grave Guard, the remaining 20 Grave Guard, can pop up back there, make a 9H charge, and get onto the objective still.
Yeah.
I think if anything, you want them off of the objective, so that way if they do get charged by 9 inches, they're still not onto the objective.
Well, with you like I suppose with the bridge where it is, you could have done a line that would have used that big piece of terrain and the bridge, and while they can move through the bridge, they need to end wholly across it, so you can't have it. So you would need to make the whole charge.
So that was your last CP?
We are in a kind of another.
But then again, I did question the pile-in, and that played a lot of. That's very important. So.
How about my chosen? Wherever they want to go.
Chosen charging,
2 wounds here is on.
whatever they want,
Start with those fiends.
in a
Wherever-
Into the unit of dudes there.
shocking turn of events. He is charging those Chaos Hounds. That is not only his battle tactic, but also threatening his sorcerer.
Access to my live stream pod as well,
Unit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you got a dude underneath. You got him.
which is fun. And then you typically
I would
go
still like to
charge
talk to whoever decided
extra
that this was
units
going to be our
and
terrain.
little page on YouTube as well, which is
Oh, that would be Corey.
little match levels up. You get a little text next to your name, and he gets the longer that you are a member, and the bigger he gets.
One of those pal dudes.
He gets more gun stable out and stuff.
Meaning, you only have 4 up 6. 5 is maybe.
What was the AP?
2.
Okay. Well, I thought you said 2, like 2 wounds.
AP.
It was just, wait, how many wounds did you do on me?
3.
Okay. 3 at AP 2. Now I'm tracking.
Yeah, that feels fine. You're not going to kill him. And that's it for charges.
And tails.
Right? We're going to go into combat.
Okay.
And we're going to go here first.
And 2 dead guys.
Vanguard Sweden first in the combat phase.
Same.
Only one charge.
And then on to that character die.
So, because the Chosen do have direwolves in, a couple are in base, Anthony's feeling confident that his Sorcerer Lord can't
So
die
let's go.
to the
I
direwolves,
think I just do 2 and 2.
but if he can try to finish off some of these Green Guard over here, kill some of these direwolves,
I don't know what his toughness is.
he needs to get these Vanguard freed up.
Yep.
It's now
So
2.
that is 7.
Vanguard on +1 to hit and wound
Rend 2.
from Demonic Power.
So 6 damage into the wolf.
It's Ren 2, so just 6 wounds going into those direwolves.
Bellacorn is
Just
at
out of
10
range for the
weapon.
5 upwards.
You have another 4 at
3.
1.
So that is just a gauntlet.
Is it blow?
And then 4 more saves at Ren 1 here.
And then we have into.
And 1 direwolf left.
Twos and twos. 5. Rend 2.
Goes jabronis into that 1 tank guy.
All right.
That's a really good roll.
Yeah. And reroll the full damage. Nope.
And then on the mount,
5. 1 arm save.
5. Rend 1.
Battle attacks going into graveyard now.
3 for the dudes.
Just die!
Accept.
No. Kill 2.
Should be them then. Okay. That's
Oh,
right.
yeah, yeah, that's the white thing, yep.
That's
But
So-
it does actually finish them.
1, 2, 3.
Bottom of 2, we finally have a unit slain on the table, and it is 20 Graveguard. Finally going down after
Alright,
multiple rounds of combat with some Baron Guard.
the one guy who's your Source Warlord, might as well try to start chipping at him. Everybody else is very indeed.
So you got 1 into Sword Lord. You've got
2 arms.
1, 2, 3, and what?
The 3 into your chosen includes the duel, so it's 7 attacks.
Doomwolf's here now, swinging on the Chosen.
1 6.
T4.
And he says, I ain't afraid no ghost or wolf,
You initially missed on all of them.
No, I had a 6.
and shrugs the saves.
Can't bring me to a 7.
So they are leadership.
Direwolf's not rolling well.
Come on, boy!
That is a failure.
He lives!
All run.
Yes!
4 they run, so they all run.
Yeah,
So that is worth 5 points of
No
nerf
more
right
wins
there.
in melee this time around, because Ryan is
Oh, and I killed the vehicle.
Fighting the dark again!
it's a mixed army, so they don't get the scene.
So I get another
we're just
point of
gonna
nerf by terror for that
Alright.
vehicle I killed there.
They're gonna all
6.
attack.
Oh, and I killed
Here
the
come the Chosen.
Tau
This
drone
is
unit.
Anthony's
Points
battle
incentive
tactic.
to not let
The
you
Tau
kill
drone
them.
units mean nothing.
Okay.
You will need
So that should be
to
5.
clear these
points.
with the Chosen.
All can be in. It'll be 10 for nerves, and then what do you get for reality?
41 attacks here.
1.
Odd attack would be on 2s and 3s. 6 to hit, I believe, are Immortal Wound in addition.
I have 1, 2, 3,
And they'll 2 damage each.
These all mine. 3.
Yep.
1, 2, 3 points of reality rebel.
Okay, so you're at 10.
Once.
5 that I owe
And
you.
that one.
Yep.
Alright, so that's gonna be 8 mortals?
Alright, so.
8 mortal
command
wounds
phase,
already.
You can select him. For the mortal
Three
leg.
wound you.
7 damage.
Actually, I'll take this guy.
I actually stopped playing demons for a while after Holy got hurt.
I think that's it for command phase.
But like,
Your
was
movement.
25 saves.
So we have 25 saves at Ren 1, 2 damage each, going into a 5-up Direwolf with all out defense, so still 5s.
They're going to tactically disengage. Thanks, buddy.
High noons for you.
Try to support the local establishments here and make sure the players stay hydrated.
Absolutely. Always thinking of the players. And sometimes the commentators, too.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, take care of yours. It's the important part.
There's no 6s in there, so you don't have to worry about it.
That was a wild roll, brother.
That was some good armor saves, but not enough in damage 2. Damage 1 they might have lived.
Actually, or, yeah. So,
So-
So it's chosen. Literally. I mean, well,
They're kind of
they're on their way. They're on their way.
They're on the way to Boston.
Small.
Yeah,
how?
Yes.
Any
They're like supervisors right now.
yeah.
comments on?
They're middle management.
Middle
They're
managers.
middle.
Hey, Trav. How will reserves come in?
Alright,
Turn
so
two.
White King
wording's what you
The
can
right king, not the left king, but the white king.
Turn 2
Mhm.
versus turn 3.
Yep.
What? You mean hold up to turn?
I'm just gonna leave those comments there and not say anything about it.
No, I have an ability to make it count as turn 2.
Is rent one?
This is round 1, yep.
Is locked.
Yeah, so round two,
You owe
round
me
two
4
is
saves.
they can't come in on your
So apparently this is also a dog-friendly hotel, not
their deployment zone.
undead dogs because they just got removed, but generally a normal human dog as in a pet-friendly hotel because we've seen a number walk around and there's a few just cruising around, hanging out.
They already on the board and you knock.
So right king does force through 2 wounds, which does finish off another Vanguard model.
Another gotcha hammer.
One wolf.
It isn't gotcha, this is what I can do.
Okay, so
What do I not use my
when
abilities?
does it
It would
go
be
off?
funny if it went through, though.
I don't know, I need to know the specifics. So we're
Well, when do you use it?
It's right now, the start of your turn.
Start of my turn. So we're already past that.
We're not past
Yep.
that. You just can't move your first model. until
Bottom of
it's
2.
out.
Well, why would I go through my command phase and then
Why am I asking my questions right now? You just can't say, oh, I'm skipping your turn because I'm moving to my shoe phase. Fuck you.
Well, we're 2 phases in. I don't.
We're not 2 phases
I
out.
don't know what you want me to do. We're 2 phases in.
No, that's bullshit.
So it'll be a 5-point turn for Anthony here, and they'll be tied up 11-11.
So
The reinforcement step is in the movie phase.
you said at the beginning of my turn.
Yeah, it is. Reinforcement step. That's why I'm
That's
asking
big
the question
difference
now.
in the big.
No,
in the
not
beginning of
now.
my
You're
turn.
trying to be a jerk. There's a difference.
Round 3 priority,
We're not
on the
on
way.
reinforcement turn yet.
You just started your turn. I'm asking my question.
That's a two.
I haven't started my turn. I've been doing like
Would you like to
Another
command phase.
Anthony Trentinelli special of rolling a 2 in priority and the opponent rolling a 1.
Okay.
So
Yes,
What
I'm
is-
aware of that.
What are the restrictions to turn 2?
I can't come in your deployment.
now the big old thought process of
Rhetorical question.
Anyway.
No, I can't on turn
does it
3.
matter? What happens if I take this turn?
Come in and back.
So on turn 3, not your board edge, but I can be in your deployment zone. On turn 2, not your board edge, and I can't be in your
Are
deployment
they?
I think the question really is those chosen, what Anthony wants to do. 'Cause if he goes, he can send those chosen to the skeletons and maybe scoop that unit.
zone. No.
And this also the last turn of scoring those flank objectives for both players.
So he's got to make sure he gets it and, if possible, deny Eric.
So yeah, I guess redo my turn. CP.
So
is actually-
White King is left and
And 1 direwolf on 1
one
wound,
direwolf.
holding up the Vanguard.
Movement.
I think if those Vanguard were free, you'd probably think about actually just taking it
Yeah,
and
of
just
course.
picking up
Yeah.
the crown spine. And
Yep. But it is turn 3, so I can carry on.
I am gonna give it to you.
Okay.
Anthony electing to give it away.
I think that's the right play. The stuff being tied up where it is. He's already screened pretty well for what he needs to be screened.
But
I mean, the one issue is that Kronspine can go into the Knights again if he wants to, but Anthony's been itchy. So he did not try to rally those Knights.
Is he going to try to also?
You can answer it.
So
Yet.
I mean,
Yeah, so this just heals.
he doesn't even have to get the crown spine in. He can just leave it back.
That one's 15.
Have 5 bodies on his home objective, and just send the skeletons to tie up those Chaos Knights.
Yeah.
This will be back to the endless slog.
well, it's not my reinforcement yet, so I'm gonna say.
He's still out, so might as well guess.
Here, Gale. Let me.
Real quick, I'm gonna try to reinforce.
Oh, wait, I have
And
to
here's
Here's the rally.
here's the rally.
That's a little important.
I'm not sure we got the battle tactic yet.
I'm going to take Desecrate.
Here it comes. Desecrate.
This is a valid target, and I've got a bazillion skeletons.
For now.
Ooh, it's getting spicy on the table.
Wicked spicy.
Wicked spicy.
I'm also gonna try to unbind the bridge.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do it
Okay.
with this guy because I think I'm out of range with
I'll fall back with
Oh.
this chunk.
for other stuff.
Sounds like we're
They do that in your
Hero
phase.
phase.
You do that.
This is fantastic.
You can do that in start either hero phase.
Well, this board edge. 6 inches up.
Just forging the narrative here, chat.
So.
Should say like.
Ah, yes, I see.
Let's try to.
I might be
Alright, marker lights.
Okay, the bridge is gone.
Big Bird.
Finally.
A bridge too far.
Was it too far? Seemed like it was just in range.
It was actually just in range. Yeah. No, I stand corrected, or sit corrected, as it were.
Okay.
Woo!
He's rallied 2 knights
Two
back.
nights. 2 nights, 2 nights.
nights.
There's only now 2 nights.
Which means there are now 7 knights in this unit. Nurgle's number, because they are the Nurgle Chaos Knights.
Yep.
Alright, missiles go. With a +1, but that won't affect whether it's 2 more wounds or not. Didn't
Oh my God!
That's a 12.
He rolled
Everybody
boxcars.
gets
Everybody on the table is taking 2 mortal wounds.
This can't keep happening, can it?
30% of the time, it happens every time. Roughly. So Soulblight needs a hard 9 on those to have them happen twice. So that means he needs a 9 on the dice regardless of any pluses.
Yeah, each of the spells has like their own modifier. So it does kind of change up what it does. Some of them necessarily aren't that they go off twice. Some are just make the spell better.
Ooh, kill the Chosen.
Ooh.
Oh, right in here. 6. 4, 5.
Alright, you're gonna get 4 back.
You can tell by all of the people I mentioned.
All right. He has 3 wounds left.
No, I have 1 wound left. That's 19 damage.
Okay.
He's gonna attempt to waste away.
Here comes the waste
Guy fell
away.
back, so he'll be at -1.
Thanks for swinging by.
So on your
So long strike will do. Railgun here. All burst.
yeah, that's only a 5.
Did not get waste away with a 5.
We're gonna try
Oh,
to
and we have a second tactical sit by Anthony.
No, this is more than the second. This is
on a 9. Well, that is not a 10. So I'm gonna give them -1 attack.
-1 attack going on at the
Chosen.
chosen.
They have been chosen to have -1 attack.
So he's hitting on.
She's gonna have her.
I use
You have a non-degrading profile?
yeah, backup AI.
She's just gonna.
It's the
Arcane
Use
Bolt.
day stratagem to count as your combat.
Yep.
So, but I fell back.
So many casts. They are powerballing up a Arcane Bolt for reasons.
So we're still -1 to hit.
So I hit on.
Never know when it's going to come in handy.
Give him a 3.
Oh, and actually, walked off the objective. Well, the objective is going to be.
He's gonna run.
Curious, see what the rationale there is.
CP roll because I have to. Fail it, I'll turn it to 0 because I have to.
It doesn't matter. All right.
It really doesn't.
Soulblight.
What do you call the terrain thing?
Or the deadly terrain.
Not deadly, but like the
Mysterious
mysterious terrain has been knocked around so many times, the players basically started ignoring it.
Correct.
That's his tradition.
Are you toughness 7?
And at that point, if you're playing Soulblight with all these skeletons, does it matter if it's deadly?
Monster hunter. But he's a monster keyword.
Got it.
It's actually even more beneficial if your guys die on this movement from deadly. So start combat phase, you can bring them back and get them.
Right by the computer. Nope. Look down. Look to the
Oh,
left. Yep. I just heard the sound of plastic hitting the floor. It's like everyone freeze.
We have our 40k table next to us making a mess.
All right. So I guess.
Don't understand simple models like us AOS
Burst
folks.
cannons into the flamers. Railgun into Big Bird. Railgun into
On the who? Which
burst.
model? Got it.
Burst cannons. So 5s. Got it. And 3s. Tau Sept. Got it.
Maybe 4 wounds.
Looks like we'll be seeing the skeletons and the crown spine going into those knights. Now, we still have.
I feel like this is the same song. Corporate asked me to find the difference between these two pictures. They're the same picture.
They're the same picture.
Only one is fighting
Now,
on
there are the unit of 20 graveguard is still off the table, and at the end of the movement,
I
there are
think
10
that might
can still come
change
back.
immediately right now. See Eric going down and picking up his tray.
have enough models?
Like a typical Soulblight player saying, but wait, there's more.
Not only will you get 20 Soul Guard, 20 Grave Guard, but if I hop out this turn, I'm going to throw in another 10 Grave Guard I resummoned because you killed them earlier.
By Grabthar's Hammer, the savings on those Grave Guard.
And if it happens this turn, I'm going to give you 20% off the normal MSRP.
So there is one unit of Graveguard that died, and the same, and then also a unit of Direwolves that died. So there's a chance you could bring back one of them.
One unit?
You get one unit.
Do you roll for it, or is it just auto?
So you roll a die at the end of every movement phase.
Yes.
If it's your turn, it's on a 3-up. If it's your opponent's turn, it's a 4-up, and you get to pick one of your slain summonable units.
Okay.
And bring half of them back. A unit can't be returned more than once.
But you round up, so the White King's still on the table, so
Yeah.
he can't come back. But like any of the other stuff that has been wiped out can.
Yeah, so potentially there's either 10 Graveguard or 5 Wolves that can come back.
But what can men do against such reckless hate?
Probably sit down
Yeah.
and just roll better saves.
Yeah, it's a good plan.
3 up, I will get a unit of my choice back at half strength.
Right, so he fired the burst cannons.
And we got the 2.
You have enough.
He was the guy that killed
He's the guy that killed
Anthony, one of the nicest men in the world, browbeating his opponent.
They will charge.
Anthony feeling very happy that somebody didn't bring 140 zombies this weekend.
Yeah.
No, they do need it.
Save.
Ooh, command point to reroll a charge.
No, right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just witnessed Graveguard actually failing a 9-inch charge.
Yep, alright.
Did you think it was possible?
I didn't, but it is.
We have the video evidence.
We do. Assuming we're streaming, it'd be really weird if we weren't and we're just talking to each
I think
other.
we're gonna have
but
to send this to
also enjoy
GW to get that FAQ'd. So Graveguard
Yeah.
always charge 9 out of the grave.
They need the rule like the old Marauder rule, where like lowest dice turns into a 6. So literally, it's.
Well,
you need
they're
a-
always guaranteed a 6-inch charge minimum too.
Yeah.
This one in the bottom.
So I will keep these command points.
The
So he's the monster.
yes. So
Command
he's
points
the guy
coming
that-
into question again.
To reroll
When you
that.
rolled him, I thought he was the second guy that shot the
No,
wolf.
because I fired the burst cannons at different targets.
Oh,
Well, you know, he shot rail cannons.
the Vampire Lord charging
He
in.
shot burst cannons. and he's-
I don't.
That was this guy.
Very
My
curious about
skeletons
that.
will charge.
Because he's moved off the flank objective, so he's no longer scoring the extra point.
Yep.
So,
Oh, that's interesting.
so skeletons are charging. I think he's hoping to potentially get onto that point over there, but
CP.
we shall see.
Oh, there's one.
A 3 wound will hurt.
Yeah.
Well, you're not-
Seems as
plus
if
one? No, you're strength one.
Eric is trying to make the game speed up a little bit, I think. Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it plays out.
The big gamble, Crown Spine going into the Chaos
Yep.
Knights.
Start a combat phase.
Sorry, because this guy brought you down to 1.
So
Long strike
I got
fired
2
you.
skeletons back.
No, he was the guy that. Yes, he hit me for 1. I
Yep,
didn't.
third
two skeletons
guy-
shambling back to life,
Third guy killed Big Bird.
or unlife.
They're not channeling back to life. None of his army is coming back to life.
So
It's
the
just
only model-
reanimating.
I have the 2 Skyward left.
It's like bed knobs and broomsticks. They're just coming back.
Ignore damage to reason.
Are you saying they're not alive?
He,
No.
You think the suits of armor and bedknobs and broomsticks are alive?
So Jeremy, who's here, has an army that is.
the railgun and then the burst cannon.
And she'll chain into my
I think it might have been a Soulblight army.
Is that Jeremy? I know Lisa Q. I can't pronounce her last name. Out in the Midwest had the bedknobs and broomsticks.
Jeremy has one too. Jeremy basically comes up with an army concept and then makes it for the next couple of events. And so now he's playing a Kislev themed Stormcast army where he has a giant bear converted out of a
Glotkin.
Glotkin.
I'm guessing the Belcourt right.
He has a bunch of bear riders. It's very nostalgic for those of us who used to play old Kislev armies. Or Total War. Total War 3. Brought him back.
How many wounds?
What's old is new again.
Does not explode.
Monster attack.
Oh, yeah, because I fell back.
Ran away.
I fell back.
Oh.
He didn't get stomped.
Eric remembering that he had a stomp available, but rolling a 1. Not very good at Warhammer in the charge phase.
You would almost think this was a priority roll, given where Eric's been.
It's not a purple sun, Eric.
Because I'm pretty sure you've rolled a 1 2 times in a row.
Shooting at
For priority, yes.
Yeah. So far, I mean, there's
So
still
far.
2 more priorities
There
roll
are.
ones on.
You can keep rolling.
I would love it if you did. One. Guess him
I mean, to be
the
fair,
one
Anthony's
blank
given you
and
the turn both times.
But I think Eric would want to give him Anthony the turn on both those times.
Yeah.
T4.
So much love at the table. It's crazy.
4, 8, 12, 16. Fives. And then. Okay. Threes. 6.
All right. So we're gonna do
All right.
1.
Well, that's it.
Okay. And
That's all she
then
wrote.
6 here.
Anthony going for the play.
Do you guys need me to
Can the Chaos Knights
run
finish off the
no,
Kron
and-
Spine?
We got confused.
Turn in next week to find out.
It's the combat that goes on and on, my friend. Some people charge not knowing why.
They will knock it down a phase of level as it was, and that's the way they do it because Nurgle, just because this is the fight that never ends.
Okay.
Indie Jam? Only the landscape.
Whichever one.
You're an Iron Man.
8.
That was turn. My
He
three.
saves Ren 1 into the Kron Spine.
Yes.
Is it gonna happen?
4,
Good.
12 points for me.
I mean, there's basically a Nurgle Knight rom-com going on.
Bring it down, I guess.
No,
Oh, you
they
need
just
primary.
it's off the charts.
Ah, yes, I
One
see.
full point workshop.
Yeah, so
Okay.
there's a rom-com going on between the Nurgle Knights and the Kron Spine, and the skeletons keep chopping in on the side. And it's a will they, won't they? Who's gonna die? Who's gonna come back? One pulls away, one comes back in. It's enticing.
And then into this guy.
And realistically, if we're making this as a movie, Hugh Grant plays the Kron Spine.
Whatever the hell you wanted to do. But if I don't get like 5 turns,
I figured it would be Kevin Hart, but
Here we're going.
Hugh Grant.
I mean, yeah, just
I'm an army like
no. Actually, you
shooting
can't.
armies are good with turns 1 through 3 as long as the game goes well for
This is
them.
like a '90s rom-com.
Generally speaking, not always.
1 more, no rent.
Okay. Manly
I'll
armies.
take that.
Generally don't have turns. Most shooting armies, if you end it turn 3, they're like, goody, good for me.
Okay.
And you win by default.
That
Yep,
is
there's
it.
shit score.
Well, Knight
So win.
not able to finish off that lone dire wolf.
Psychic phase.
Very slacking.
Smite.
Okay.
Bellator. No, how much damage does he got left? He has 12, 34, 50. He does not need smite. Smite here. Or, what's it? Good. Shoot phase. These 3 jabronis who got out.
Okay.
Seltzers. Oh, okay.
So Anthony's in
It
combat
was
with these
much louder
Vanguard.
with the MCP people, and we can't give the 40k guy.
I was yelling really
So
loud.
Anthony's Vanguard are in combat with the Vampire Lord, the Rate King, and the Direwolf, and he's splitting all of his attacks into them. The Vampire Lord has now been lifted by the Vanguard. I think it was a huge mistake sending that in there.
Yeah, it
He-
not only lost him the 3 points, it was sitting on the side. But it was, yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna start first with those meetings.
Alright.
3, I think, too.
Yeah.
It wasn't all 6s. Good thing.
We have an update. Our 2 New Jersey players have played each other, Travis Pearson and Martin Orlando. And the best Jersey player who's actually playing today has won it by 1 point. Travis taking the game over Martin
With sequiturs.
with sequiturs.
Chosen, Vanguard, and Chaos.
A very kind of similar list to what we see on the table has dropped to the sequitur spam. More importantly, the gyrocopter.
He has a gyrocopter?
There's a
Battle
gyrocopter.
tactics.
Did you get it?
Turn 2, yeeted it, straightforward. Battle tactic. Got it.
There is a very little known battle tactic in the Stormcast book that if you contest an objective that's in your opponent's
All
territory,
objectives in the territory.
all objectives that are wholly within your opponent's territory, if you just contest them with cities units, you score it. So you don't have to control it.
Oh, with cities units?
So a single gyrocopter is able to fly over, land on objective, score battle tactic.
Even if it doesn't control it. Even if it's free battle
Yeah.
tactic.
Any of the freebies points gotten for no dice, nothing to it, just like if you did not place your stuff.
But you still had to bring a cities unit.
Yep.
Which is a terrible waste of points.
Pretty genius way to use the gyrocopters.
Either that or 8 wings.
No, long strike's dead. All hope is lost. Right.
So much fun.
All right. So we have a 4-point turn for Soulblight. They have the hold 1, hold 2, but since he moved that Vampire Lord off the objective, he does not get the bonus point.
This is now turn 3, so 4-point turn.
No.
It's just another 6 damage.
And the Crown Spine has not de-leveled, and as per usual, I have forgotten to update the overlay to mark that Eric was taking his turn. So that last turn was Eric's turn for the Soulblight.
Hey. Flamers. Yep. Take blue. Oh, I'm sorry.
We have Cunning Maneuver. Very quick snap decision from Anthony, choosing Cunning Maneuver here. He's already got the Sorcerer Alert on the objective on the flank. So automatically should see a 5-point turn.
This is turn 3. This is bottom of 3.
The bottom of 3. So should be a 16-15 after 3. Still extremely too tight.
Possibly.
I have no idea which way this one's going to go.
I'll go over CP.
So good.
I get it.
You do get a friend's bar the other night. He made me like a pina colada.
So another turn.
Anthony trying to buff up these chosen with the sorcerer lord on the side.
Plus one to
Can you do your...
But yeah, so I'm trying to unbind that with my +1.
I don't think.
Don't worry about it. The light's still fine on the table as long as you
So
guys are
yeah,
good.
that's a total of 7. So
So I got it.
you got it.
3 dice.
Then...
Oh, come on.
The only thing you can.
Ah,
No, I only had one.
He's got 5 aboard.
I rolled a whole one on wood first.
Oh,
Or warp
Yeah, so
Hey.
like on the other side, I think
Alright.
you knocked your chair.
listen.
It's fine if you guys knock them out. The lights above are good enough, so don't sweat it.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go. So plus one to hit wound didn't go off. That. And then we go. Mystic
I
shield.
guess...
Excellent. So that's survivor. Hell yeah.
Anthony's still deciding the rest of the course of action of the turn.
Turn 4 goes to 5, so turn
Quite a
6
bit to
goes
think
to
about
5
here.
goes to force.
Really?
Yep.
That's
At the end of this turn, those flank objectives will go away.
Whew. 2 wounds.
And we will have a slog in just the middle of the table for 2 battle rounds.
Take a 6.
Yep.
4, 8, 12, 16.
Which means those 20 Graveguard that were put on the top right of your screen could become irrelevant next turn because they could be so far away you might not even make a charge.
That's true.
Hence why I'm assuming that's why everyone takes the crisis units because they have a crap ton of guns.
Well, they're maneuverable and...
And every crap. But on the end of the game, you're like
Not the games today?
exploding on 4s with a shit ton of shots.
So 3,
These ones have been alright.
come in, and then...
You're still -1 to hit,
First
so
TV stream were awesome.
I think I go.
not
Yeah,
really.
tonight's games.
But I am Marcos, but these 3 will
Not
go
really.
in.
Against
Well, these were
various
the
varieties
Alright,
of
you're good.
power. So
And then I
it
got
showcases like
card
what
on
it's
six.
gonna do and whether
Okay, let's see if it's good.
Okay.
Anthony, very deep in thought.
Well, I'm
Yep.
deciding between.
Power
Okay.
stance. Power stance. Knuckles on the table.
Yeah. I'm
Leaning
deciding
forward.
between
Just
the
think you're a
two.
gorilla.
Do,
Yeah. It's the gorilla stance.
He still has another spell to cast. He's debating between bridging, so we can get the chosen out.
Chosen remove 4 or 5? 5 probably.
I think they're like 5, but they can't run in charge, so they're kind of
Felt
slow.
bad.
They're
They're not
in
that
a
far
single
from the
position.
How
skeletons
many
at
wounds
least.
does she have left?
I've taken
Yeah,
8
but
damage, so I have 12 remaining.
I mean that doesn't. Here comes the Mystic Shield.
Exploding.
Mystic Shield on a 10,
Alright, Skyrim.
and he gets it.
2.
It's been a good day games, I think. We'll have some interesting ones.
Iron Explosion, targeting rank movement. Shoot,
Here comes the moves. It's like chosen really only have one way to go, and that's into the bones.
Take 4.
They're gonna go roll them bones.
That's it.
I failed too.
Oop. Picked up a beast with it. There you go.
5. Second one.
He's ready to tag
5.
along.
So take 10.
Yeah, he's like, guys, I'm ready. Tap me in. Give me a suit of armor. I'm here to be a chosen.
Put me in coach.
I'm ready to play today. That's as much. That's as much as we can actually sing without having DMR problems. So one is at 7:45, 3 hours. So that's still 20 minutes, and they started a little late, so probably 8 o'clock. So an extra 40 minutes or so total.
All right.
That's probably the people that beat
Anthony is
You've maxed
So you
them.
got the
You're
outside
at,
of 3, correct?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're at 45.
So I'm sorry. These guys actually are going to stay back here, so you can't just snag that off me.
Fair enough.
Anthony is
Now I'm happy.
adjusting the
Okay.
point where he wants to put the Untamed Beast. Here comes the roll.
Hey, Max, bring it
Back.
back.
They're back. Who's back? Who's back?
10 Graveguard.
10 Graveguard has decided to reappear and go. Oh, whoop, 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 whoop.
Man, way too many guys on the board already. This is not acceptable.
But whose fault is that? If you had killed more, he would have less.
I only have so many attacks.
Have you thought about getting more attacks?
Thought about it. Problem is, to get more attacks, I go like 4s and 4s and over. Suddenly it's worse. Yes, but not pineapple. That'll make me want to die.
So Eric's still figuring out where he wants to put 10 Graveguard.
So I'm at 45 primary right now.
He's actually got some pretty good options too.
Mm-hmm. He won't be able to put him on the objective over here, but he's going to get him very close.
Is it outside of 3?
Outside of 3. Which is nuts. So when they come back on, they basically cannot move that turn at all. Like, they cannot
They
make a
can't
move.
pile in.
They can't make a move. They can't pile in. They can't charge.
Okay.
They're just
Because there's a
There.
number of units in the book that get a 6-inch pile-in.
Yep.
This would
So
be
the dire wolves, for
ridiculous
example.
with dire wolves.
Yeah.
Is that you then pop them within 3, get a 6-inch
But it
pile-in.
would have killed you if you didn't roll that 6.
That would have been
It's D3 plus 3.
a poor devilfish.
All these flamers into that. Whatever
Yes,
that
sir.
thing is called.
The Sky Ray. Oh.
Hurry on. Let's do it. Let's charge some.
We are nearing the end.
Chosen.
Counts the entire base for
Oh, yeah.
what works on the site.
I'm going to use his from the turn.
So it can take a little bit to get used to because the opponent's like, well, you like this big sort of bigger roll. Space, but it's better.
It is. So it'll be 7.
so 7 in charge from the Chosen. Not what he was looking for.
I think he wanted to get all the way over there and hop into Crondy.
Yeah.
Cronday West. Fortunately, it doesn't have any monsters, or there's no more endless spells on the table, so Kronspine can't actually level
Still
up.
electing to get as close to 10 to him, which I don't know if I like that. Because Kronspine can pile in and attack the Chosen.
It's true. I believe they're pretty buffed up from a defense perspective.
Yep, they have Mystic Shield on them, so they're currently on a 2-up.
Yeah.
2 shots.
But unlike the Knights, they don't have the -1.
-1, which is huge.
So, one more skeleton showing back up in a combat. Apparently not brought back to life, just kind of reanimated.
Just reanimated, exactly. Yeah. Terminology is important.
Don't speak yet. He might not.
One Knight dies from a stomp, had 1 wound left.
So let's do. Let's do them first. Right. Take all out attack. And of course you roll. Yeah.
Chosen are swinging first. They are going with all out attack. And we're going to see. And the now, I think, 9 Chosen.
This is going to be 9 times 3 is 27 plus 1 is
1 save at -2.
So
Take 2.
28 swings going to those skeletons from the Chosen.
Yep, they're normally +1 attack on the charge because they're corn, but there is Fading Vigor on them, dropping them back down to that 3 attacks right now.
So this will be 2s and 3s.
3 at -2.
So 2s and 3s, 6s are doing a mortal wound in addition.
Take 3.
It's rend 1, 2 damage each.
5 mortals. 6 mortals.
6 mortals to start this one out.
Yep.
He does get to reroll the ones on the
Yep.
mortal wound save from the banners.
But only 6s. It's not a 5 mortal wound save.
And then 15 more at round 1.
15 saves, Ren 1, 2 damage each. Don't think that's gonna be enough.
Skeletons are a 5-up.
5 ups because
Yep.
Well,
With all
Did you say 15?
Yep.
No, minus 2.
I fell.
Take 2.
Down to 2.
Yeah, that's all my little
Down to 2.
roll offs were.
Well, I guess
that.
I get D3 attacks.
Damage?
That's right. Actually, no, D3 is the most right. It's only 1. That's right. I think 6. Strength 6.
You do not win. I'm T4.
good save
Oh, no, you're
rolls
good,
here.
Yeah, I think only I
No.
think he only failed 8 saves, so 16 damage.
And a good advantage.
Aha! Have close combat right there. So 15 die. Okay.
So
And
15
so
That'll be
slain off of this. 13 now, slain off of
then
this.
we have to go max reality.
15 minus 2, sorry.
Max, bring it down.
so I'm gonna get 3 points for every boss.
Well, you maxed it already.
Got it.
So my turn. All I can do homeboy, well, pain phase, top racket.
Oh, I'm gonna heal all my dudes at the start of leadership phase.
Move in there. Get my
So heals,
thingamajiggy.
heals 1,
And
heals 1. Oh, heals 3.
the devilfish will just scoot away from me. I'm going to use combat deparcation on this guy.
Alright.
You move, and then the homeboys can get out.
I'm gonna go with the con spine, see if I can reduce some damage into him. 2 bucks.
Conspine going into the Chaos Knights now, trying to reduce any output.
And marker light. Oh, that
Has whiffed the big bites.
Yep. Which is big, 'cause that's
Him
the
to
highest
there,
rend
anything?
that the model
Huge.
has.
Railgun.
Huge.
Targeting right. Explodes.
He's rolling for the Conspine like he rolls for priority right now, and only one save.
You don't wound.
Alright.
You don't wound.
CP. Good, why not? Hey, there's one anyway.
Good.
One dies from the mortals. Go this guy.
Alright, might as well.
Force. 4, 8, force. 12, alright. 16.
Force.
Terrible.
8 by 4.
Only 4 hit or 5,
Yeah.
so
But when all of your stuff explodes on 4s,
That is what the remnants of the Corvus Cabal
Nothing more than
at the
There's
top
one
of
guy
that,
left.
demons. So
who is absolutely dressed in his finest big bird garb.
take what? Maybe
No.
1 or 2?
one guy and take a damage.
Let's see it.
So, Mr. Birdie.
And then screw it.
Love it.
Kill him. Kill that
The
ass.
bird
He's
lives
aggro.
another turn.
Targeting right.
Nothing.
Maybe he gets to get upgraded to a. I guess he get to be what, a marauder, and then he goes from marauder to being a chaos warrior, and then chaos warrior to chosen, and then chosen to hero. He's got a few steps.
5, 9.
He's on the path.
He's on the path.
The path to chaos.
3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here we go. Here we go.
Come the Knights.
6 run 1 into me.
6 Ren 1s into the Kronspine. 5 up saves here.
5, 10, 16, 14 on that one guy. 3 saves, no rend. I guess didn't even kill him. Haha. Kill him. Then we'll go with the
Kronspine has taken 6, so you're telling me there's a chance.
We'll do, pulse onslaught, so that 6 is auto wound.
And now the chosen are doing their
10,
second
Oh,
attack.
yeah, I forgot.
20.
Once for battle.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see if you can sneak any more damage into this Kronspine.
And it's interesting because there's a few uses of things like command points for all-out attack that for Baron Guard for them, they're going to get it twice.
So 3 chosen are able to reach this ground spine, the rest into the skeletons.
Alright, so into the cross line first, the 2s and 3s. One more. I guess tap step. Cool. So T4 you said, right? 5 and rend 1.
Taking hacks, the Kron spine, 5, rend 1.
10, 15,
So 8 more, so
8 more.
Kron spine's at 14.
15 with the mortal.
15 with the mortal.
We might see it.
Possibly.
Yeah. Woo. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Well, I took your deployment.
Eric just needs to channel all of the powers here. Maybe offer himself to some of the gods of chaos
Yeah.
Alright.
So primary.
to keep that crown spine.
We have fights here. 2 mortals. And here.
Does he
2 mortals into the skeletons.
Yeah. Woo. On them. 1. On the flamers.
And then you've got another
3.
9 saves to make it, right?
And on my tank.
Right.
5. My other tank explode. Alright. So there it is. That's all she wrote.
Right, yeah, but these guys won't touch
I
me.
didn't. Don't
Do
go
I have
out.
to be holding one of these? Alright, I'm thinking
They're both
probably.
No, the first, the explosion from this one killed the other one.
Got it.
So 5s for all of us.
That's it.
So
Nothing.
now those
2 each.
So you
Oof.
only hold. You don't.
Big whiff on the
automatically
front end
primary.
saves.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
I mean, this.
because those all multiply into 2 damage a pop,
Yeah, but I suppose I
it's
could
an
have moved here.
awful lot of 6-up rerolling
I get
ones.
4. And if I lose by
But
4,
there are dice that
You
make it
are
happen.
winning by 50. Just as a point of fact. Yeah, I was gonna say.
And that is the entire unit of skeletons.
Yeah, those chose.
So I get one more sizer. 96 to 53.
Oh.
So,
See-
I guess the big roll.
Here we go.
that much from playing
Crown
games,
spine
so
roll
I just
coming up.
I need a 16.
He needs a
16
16.
on 3d6.
Yeah, I just.
No, I don't
No,
think that's
like-
11.
Especially when I'm not looking at this word, I think.
And he rolls a 15.
At least 2 turns.
Oh, yeah.
I rolled his character, the wound.
You're not being able to get through games.
Anthony is so good at Warhammer right now.
How
Yeah.
many hundreds of shots did I fire?
Yeah, so the Kronspine died. He rolled a 15, but he had taken 16 wounds.
He had taken 15. I gotta roll over.
Oh.
Oh.
Like my arm hurts from rolling so many dice.
Okay, well, that gives
Right,
me,
but you still have.
six. No, I got 1, 2,
A lot of stuff on the board.
and I
did.
have
It's gonna be a 5-point turn for Anthony. For hold 1, hold 2, battle tactic for 4, and then the holding the flank objective with the Galician champ.
Yep.
Bring him up to 16 points.
And then this next round in round 4, the side objectives are going to disappear.
Yep.
Much gonna be whether I have a shot at this or not. That's a 5.
That's a 5.
And I win ties.
That you win ties. Damn.
Anthony has
Alright,
lost
so-
priority here, so it's in Eric's
I
hands.
gotta keep I gotta take priority.
And he's feeling he has to take it. There's only going to be 2 objectives on the table, as the flank ones are going to be gone.
Yep.
And Anthony is now taking control of the entire center of the table. I think Eric made a bit of a misplay in bringing this graveyard in all the way over there, where he did.
I messed up.
They're going to need
Put
an incredibly long charge if they want to get to the Vanguard this turn.
Space Wolves just literally, it's like they never had enough backup.
He's- And that's where
The
he's
others
already
did it.
moved to measure.
They move
He had a bunch of
4 or
stuff.
5?
4.
Yeah, so they're only going to be able to move a bit.
Yeah. It's tempting to leave Graveguard in the grave and just bring them out and make those 9-inch charges. But you gotta be careful, so you always need to plan out. If you bring them out of the grave and fail a charge,
What's your alternate?
what are they doing?
Between the mortal wounds
And I
and
think
my attacks, like,
where they
it's
came out
is not
is gonna be a problem.
Is that a unit of 20?
This is a unit of 20. That is that
Yeah,
fresh unit.
that are kind of isolated.
Yeah.
because like a 3-up
Yeah.
armor save is
So unfortunately, there's really just that unit of 10 Graveguard there next to the Vanguard at the top objective. Really nothing left at the home objective,
Yeah, no. It's terrible.
and he's gonna have to make something happen here.
either your opponent like
He still has the 5. He still has 5 direwolves that he can roll to bring back,
Yep.
and they could pop in on that top objective. and you could potentially score. Hold
Or
on
it
to
has to
2.
be outside of 9.
No, outside of 3 for when you bring them back.
But don't you need a hero nearby?
Hundreds of AP1 attacks.
Nope.
No, it's just literally outside of 3. Okay.
You just bring them back wholly within 12 of a grave, 3 away from enemy models. Eric is going to have to be Demon Thug because he's going to have to plan out spell tactic for this turn, as well as his next turn, and figure out what is his path to victory. He's down by 1 point. We're that close. So, bit of a break at this moment while we think about this.
My battle tactic is roll a 3 up.
Yep.
You killed a bunch of monsters.
Endless nightmare.
So,
Running down. Roll 3 by 50
Yep.
points.
Endless Nightmare
You lose by 50.
looking to bring back a unit for his battle tactic this turn.
Really, that's right.
And that happens sometimes. Like you just roll the dice and just hate.
Spirit Wind went off again.
Last game we played,
One mortal wound across the table. Just killing a lot of guys.
and my demon said,
Hello was like,
Yeah.
hey,
Alright.
it's just, it's like depressing to just know that you're gonna roll 200 dice and deal a
And
wound.
then,
It's like, why am I even bother?
And Eric's battle tactic is to get a unit back from one of the grave sites. So he needs to roll a 3 up.
the hilarious part, but
alright.
they're removing all of the, what do you call it there, the ignore
I'm
saves.
going to cast Waste Away.
The what?
They're removing all of the ignore saves.
That will succeed on an 8.
Moving all the ignore saves.
Correct. So all the, like,
I will
ball
take
saves, none of
your-
that is not.
So far,
Okay, so Eric has cast the Waste Away on the Chosen, reducing their damage and to wound.
And then it's good. The malfunction is you've got to get within like 18 inches.
And so I will
Anthony unable to stop any of these spells.
You have the little beast.
So the Chosen absolutely getting neutered here. -1 attack, -1 to wound, -1 to damage. So their base is now 2 attacks each.
Yep.
3s and 4s, rend 1 damage.
Yep,
You're playing like MSU
much less effective. Although,
or orcs. Or orcs. I don't know.
I mean, the question is actually what are they going to fight?
Is that in there?
Right, so they're not going to be nearly as effective against those Graveguard, but that's kind of the only target on the table.
Brick Marines, I'm gonna. I don't know what to say.
what chat think of my tank company?
They like it every time.
It's
Chat always likes it.
I see where it
So
has
we
its
like
charm.
came in, somebody was like, I don't. If I played against this, I have no idea how to deal
Blades
with
are warm.
any army I'd ever played.
The lights are warm?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, they're LEDs. I guess not.
The question will be what did the demon.
Maybe it's just warm in here.
It is. We've had this window open all day.
They've been garbage.
But it's hot.
It is. Well, probably
There's
about
like
the same.
literally nothing
And
happening
I
out
have a lot
there.
of
It's the same
demons.
temperature.
I feel like the crew makes.
So you want to just line
Taking the
all
crude
those
out
like back
to make this army worse, I feel like.
You have less bodies for me to go through.
Um,
You essentially had tanks for me to go through.
yeah, I didn't feel like the Devilfish. I mean, it let me do aerospace targeting and play
No.
objectives a little bit better.
Eric moving
But,
up
like,
is Graveguard, is right king,
What did it get?
electing to just looks like move the Graveguard and hope that he can roll a long charge.
Oh,
Yep.
96 to 58 or something.
96.
Carry hit 96.
Who went first?
I'm a little bit surprised we didn't see the redeploy on the Varangard to get them out of that
Agreed.
charge range.
Agreed.
Mr. Put it on round 2. He's
I
like,
think it's been a long day and people are getting a little
I don't
We currently
tired.
have a good amount of people with no
I
additional
don't
drops.
I don't know why he just didn't.
This has been a slog of a game too. Like it's very interesting, but these armies are fighting and casting. There's no shooting in the game, but otherwise, like they're in every phase since the top of one.
Say, I may or may not be back tomorrow.
Does not get any units back this
He
turn.
failed his battle tactic.
We'll see. We'll like right now. Laura had the buy, which is fine. Laura
We'll see how
played, watches randomly.
I do
which
on
is fine.
cards. I'll
And
check
then
that lightning they
Yeah, I don't have any additional drops. Well, I have
Alright.
one drop, so there's.
So, the big one.
Yeah, if it's odd,
Needing 9, re-rolling for
if
my
it's
white
odd,
king.
and like I look at BCP
So on the big
and it's
unit.
odd, I'll drop. But if it's even,
have to be
Re-rolling for my white king.
like the flamers, they're all 3 wounds, so I have to statistically.
Well, 20 Graveguard making a charge as per usual.
Yep.
60 cars.
And he rolled
boxcars!
on the reroll of the boxcars.
He's -1 army wide to hit, so I need a hit on 5s.
Something tells me Anthony will still be alright.
Just to kill 1 squad of flamers.
I don't know.
And I was wrong. Like my arm.
Those Varangard are very good at fighting Graveguard, apparently.
Although the Chosen
Guard and guard. It's a guard on guard game.
Chosen really not doing anything.
Know that you have to fire, so you have to roll 100.
Knights can't charge.
I'm going to.
Varangard already used their once per battle fight twice.
Or actually, I'm starting with my white king, technically. But he's
Who are the
cheating
knights
with my right.
tied into?
96.
The 10 Graveguard that came back in the prior turn have now charged into the 10.
Oh, they're
remains
in
of
the
Chaos
knights. Okay, I missed that.
So that's 2 mortals. You owe me 2 saves.
2 saves. So my 90. We got high at 90 last game. Fail both.
Alright, so you owe me 6 boards.
Well, 4 up on the mortals.
Okay, yeah.
Hit 1, fail 1.
Alright, so.
And then I have no more board.
Oh,
Even
okay.
do.
So then.
I sent a message
So
asking about
Anthony
dinner.
failed both of his normal saves and has does not have oracular visions on, so has lost a Varangard to the right king, who's come in with the steel chair.
Well, humans know exactly what to do. Just don't fail saves.
Yeah, just make
That's easy.
Oh, you ignore some of the.
take no physical damage.
If you never fought humans, all of my army's mechanics.
There's the bar upstairs, which I think some people are going to. I don't know if they're getting food, but if people go get food,
And now
send a
the
message.
Graveguard immediately activating.
So he had 4 greater demons. So he made all the demons.
Tempting to put these these Chaos Knights or the Vanguard to sleep. But we'll see if he can pull it off.
All the others just made all their saves. So I was just like,
So 3, or we got 2 left at this point?
I'm 30.
So we are going to the Archers.
Okay.
Beat us by Corey.
Okay.
While you're leaving, like when this game gets over.
Okay.
I think time is up.
Did
as well.
somebody? All right. Apparently they're already over there, and I think people are just.
I'm gonna be here, so you'll probably be facing Siege Demons.
Anthony only taking 3 wounds. Oh, no. Killing the Vanguard. And the other one taking 3, so 1 Vanguard left. Not enough to finish the unit. This is top of 4 Eric's turn. Will not be able to achieve a battle tactic, but
Okay, so Chaos Demon.
we'll score 2.
But my game 1 was fun. 2 more.
What was it against?
These are the Chaos Knights swinging in to the 10 Graveguard that have already come back.
So, I
Picking off a few.
because I play with Hit a bunch. He alpha strikes all the way. 'Cause every army he plays Eldar that way. It's just his style of play. So I'm kind of used to it by now, where it's like I gotta do. Then it's like wave 2, wave 3,
So,
and then it's
the single lone Vanguard
So I bring the
now going to be swinging back into the Graveguard.
Yeah.
So 3-point turn here for Eric. Hold 1, hold 2, hold more. But no battle tactic. And
Well, this was top of 3, wasn't it?
that was top of 4.
Top of 4.
So we're going into bottom of 4. Anthony Trentinelli with the Slaves of Darkness.
We're gonna go.
Fighting against the big boogeyman of the meta right now, the Soulblight Gravelords. So because one lone champion bird who's been holding down the line finally died last turn,
Literally MVP.
literally MVP, which is now allowing Anthony to pick up Eye for an Eye
MVP
as a battle tech.
Should we say MVP? We should probably say MVP.
Yeah.
Most valuable bird.
The bird.
Roll 3 dice for the what you call it?
And heroic action, the 3d6 cast?
No. He's
No?
gonna do 3 dice for the heroic with the Eye of the Gods, but he's gonna do command point now too. We got it.
Since Anthony is going second, he gets 2 heroic actions with a Galician Jam, so he gets to 3d6 cast and he rolls for a command point.
So we're gonna go. First cast is gonna be for. Could do that. Let's go.
I'm gonna try to stop the terminus clock. Nope.
Eye of the Gods. Goes off on 10.
Okay. He has 3 casts?
Yeah.
But he's pretty far away from stuff. I might as well try to unbind it. Oh, you get it.
3 dice. Doesn't matter. Whole bunch of 2s. Come on, man. Let's do. I don't even know what that gives me, to be honest with you, but it don't really matters.
Oh, and these are gone.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yep.
I don't think I need to do Arcane Bolt or anything like that. He'll give himself a Mystic Shield because, yeah, sure.
I might as well try to unbind it. Yep, that's
Stop it.
okay.
Let's go. No other spells. We're gonna go to movement.
That's kind of how I do it. I do split too. It's like when the sun's there, it's fine. Like, okay.
Should actually measure to see how far they can go. So we're gonna stay on the side of 3 of these guys. We're just gonna come over this way. Don't mind us. Nothing to see here.
I mean, you're every debuff there is, so
Yeah.
it's probably fine.
There's a lot, that's for sure. Then we're gonna go treat these guys.
So
He'll run.
Anthony's moving phase, just running these side units. We got it. 1 Untamed Beast left from all the Spirit Gales. Chaos Sorcerer Lord. Running up there going, I think I can.
If I'm good, turn into a demon prince.
He's gonna back out.
Okay.
Vanguard retreating, since not much they can do there.
That's it.
Okay. 4 up?
Yep.
There it is.
That'll do it.
So here come
You needed 15 skeletons in your life, right?
15 more skeletons are now returning to the table.
Man.
So Anthony has decided to charge the Chosen in, let them go for the Right King, who has that artifact that buffs the word saves with +1 to their words. So trying to remove that to weaken what's left of this Soulblight army.
Yeah, so he's gonna make it.
Yeah.
Because you're only damage 1. The damage 1 is the
That
killer
damage
there.
1,
So
keeping the Right King alive.
Alright, same deal over here. These guys,
2s and 4s.
let's go 4 mortals.
Okay.
So our players are going to be talking it out. It is quite late. Anthony did fail his battle tactic for eye for an eye. and then does not hold either of the objectives due to the insane amount of bodies that keeps coming back.
I'm gonna try to do a thing on.
So our players talking it out.
I'm just gonna, wherever you don't go, I'm gonna desecrate something.
They seem to agree that
Okay, so
Eric will be like gaining off of finishing off those chosen.
probably have an easy enough time desecrating
Talking about
this 'cause
turn
I've only
5.
got the one model on it. I mean, I suppose I might as well see what Spirit Gale does. It didn't go off. That's only 6.
So yeah, I'll desecrate something.
Yeah, you
There's
could just
enough,
easily
there's enough,
run over here.
there's
Or no,
enough
that's not there, but this is.
There's enough stuff on
And
here.
I'd be busy trying to kill your Vanguard, so I'd go there, and then you choose Desecrate and Desecrate this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Hey, good game, Brendan.
Thank you. You too.
I hate that fucking army.
So much stuff comes back.
So
That's
it
the
talked
thing.
it
And
out.
it's actually tough stuff that comes back.
Like, it's tough stuff, but like also just there's only so much damage in the game.
Yep.
And then Anthony,
So
would you go
need
get your
to
grand
have
strat?
me off of this objective? What was this all about? Your grand strategy?
Oh no, my grand strat is to see if I can get him to turn into a thing.
Oh, okay. So one more roll for that, unless I unbind it.
You can't unbind a 13.
Okay.
Sorry, a 14.
Yep. All right. So then roll on the table.
Hey!
He did. All right. So
Hey!
Grand strategy.
It's not a good grand strat.
It's so random.
So both players would get their
it's
grand
so
strat.
uncontrollable.
And it looks like we're looking at a final score 26-21. Favor of the big bad boogeyman, the Soulblight Gravelords. Please put us out of our misery of Soulblight.
That did not get the appropriate
What?
terms.
No.
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 In fact, Virkos actually got better in the FAQ, but
One list that those one guy played.
we're gonna sign off here.
Yeah. It's
Round
been-
3.
We'll be back tomorrow morning, chipper and caffeinated. And
Caffeinated at least.
yeah, I'm always
Very
chipper.
possibly hungover.
Not a thing. We're never hungover on our morning streams. Yeah, that's all we got. Thank you everybody for tuning in and watching this in the future. And we are on to
Dinner.
general shenanigans.